if I do?
Covino and Rich. Are you ready?
Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready.
Heard all about it on the radio.
Get ready.
Whoa! Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! And holy mother meatball! Can't stop the hustle.
I'm the smartest man alive! You're so ridiculous. What? You're such a fool. Get out of here.
Oh, I'm a disc jockey.
What's a disc jockey?
Turn it up. We're doing the show. Here we go. Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
All right, welcome to the show, everybody. How's it going? What's up, buddy? Covino and Rich and Spot. Rich on location. Hop Along Dickie is live in Texas at Dickie Tejas, everybody. Spot and I are here in LA. Spot's in Uranus. But what else is new? Take a number.
I have plenty of stories to get to today. In fact, Spot, I'm going to give you credit for one thing to start the show, I think.
Just one thing. But first,
Just one little
we
thing.
be rocking out. Let's go.
It's more of a, I understand Spot 1%.
Hi, Mr. Scream.
So last night, I don't know if it was in your path, but down here in Texas, we got a perfect view of the lunar eclipse.
I mean, it was everywhere.
Oh yeah, but aren't there places of Total or Teller? I don't know.
You're
Aren't there
thinking-
like places
no,
of?
you're thinking of this. I mean, yes, there's better places to view it, but you're thinking of the solar eclipse.
All right. Well, I saw in the news they're like, we got the best view, and I'm like, all right, cool. I got to check this out. And I went outside, and I stood in the driveway for about a half hour and watched the lunar eclipse, and I was like, yeah, that was pretty cool. I don't think I would drive 15 hours for it, but it was pretty cool.
To compare a lunar eclipse to
By
a
the way,
solar eclipse,
that's the first time you've ever seen or like had the interest enough to go out and check out this once in a blue moon sort of thing, pun intended.
To compare a lunar eclipse to a solar eclipse shows your ignorance. Yet, I appreciate your appreciation for the lunar eclipse.
Have seen probably a few lunar eclipses, but I never cared enough to go outside, Covino. But I like watched the moon go from super bright to slowly but surely being covered by the shadow of Earth, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And I was standing out there with Emmy and Grandma and Grandpa, and it was fun. I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. Look, Emmy, it's getting darker and darker, and it's like turning red, and I thought it was cool. I don't think I would ever drive again, like Spot did 15 hours for the solar eclipse, but
Once
I
again,
think if you have a chance to watch any of these things, I get it.
completely different things.
Dude, it's the moon. It's the sun.
No, it's Rich's head in a way. Rich,
Yeah.
you're blocking the
Rich,
sun.
you're blocking the moon.
Just kidding. We're 6 minutes into the show, and already awkward burgers being served.
I just want to make it clear that I would not drive 15 hours for a lunar eclipse, but for a solar eclipse, I would travel the world. As a matter of fact, in 2024, I plan on going to deep into upstate New York to watch
I don't know this for a fact, but doesn't it also last a little longer?
the
The
lunar
event
eclipse
you
does.
saw. Yeah.
The lunar eclipse does.
Right.
The solar eclipse, it's you slowly eclipsing, but the totality is there for like a minute.
The path of totality.
Yeah.
Totality. Well, anyway,
and
doofus.
it's
I thought it was
much-
pretty
and
cool.
It changes the environment. It gets dark. You hear birds. It's it's the weirdest thing ever.
People
Now-
thought it was an act from the gods.
It's funny you should say that, Covino. I said that to my in-laws last night while we were watching it. It's a common thought, but I'm like, yo, people back like thousands of years ago must have thought some shit was going down.
You never saw Apocalypto? Apocalypto? Yeah.
I don't think I have then. No.
What? Mel Gibson. So you've never seen an eclipse or Apocalypto?
You know right now.
Yo, that's must-watch movie right there. I was going to say must-watch TV, but you got to get that bad boy.
I know you're getting into caveman mode. Must watch movie.
I was going to say that's must-watch TV, but that's must-watch movie. So sports, entertainment, life, science, eclipses.
Ooh.
We talk it all here on the show.
Science.
From hard-hitting issues to nutting in tissues. There it is. We're Covino and Rich. Hope you had a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed all your Game 7s, all your sports, all your fights. And I hope you had a Jamal Charlo sort of weekend. Hope you had a Boston Celtics, Dallas Mavericks sort of weekend. Hope you enjoyed your hockey. And I hope you enjoy CNR today. Let's have a great week. How's Texas treating you? Besides,
it's great, man. It's great. Saw lunar eclipse. I mean, how could I beat that? I did not know that there are a handful of lunar eclipses a year. I was like, when's the next one? And there's a couple a year.
Which is why you don't need to drive 15 hours for it.
Yeah, but I can't imagine driving 15 hours or anything like that. But it was still pretty cool.
Wait till you see one.
Imagine the view Spot must have from Uranus.
Huh?
There's a lunar eclipse in 2024 that I believe goes from like upstate New York through Texas. So you'll be able to see that. You should go see that one.
A solar or lunar?
A solar eclipse, sorry. Solar eclipse.
Yeah. So solar's the one you want to see is what you're saying.
Solar is the one you want to see.
How about a Mitsubishi?
Solar
Do they still exist?
will blow your mind.
I feel like every cute girl had an eclipse at one point. Like in high school, there was always one cute girl that had an eclipse.
And a Dodge Neon.
A Neon, a Volkswagen Cabrio, Cabriolet, whatever they were called.
Oh, yeah.
What else? Another chick car.
Toyota
A
Echo.
red Chevy Cavalier. What else? You might have just nailed it with those.
Ooh, the Ford Probe, like way back in the day.
Ooh, the Probe, good one. Yeah.
The Probe.
Which one was the Ford Probe?
The Probe was big. Well, again, I'm a little older, so yeah. The Probe was one. How about the Honda Prelude? I mean, it was a cool little sports car, but it was little. I knew a lot of girls that had Pontiac Grand Ams, to be honest. It wasn't a girl car, but I knew a lot of girls that had it.
The Probe was...
the Probe. Oh, yeah.
The Probe was sort of cool. My friend Madeline had a Probe, and everyone loved it. They were like, that's a cool Probe.
What was the other one?
Which one?
Oh, the Honda Prelude.
No, yeah, the Prelude was the little...
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? But I knew guys that had that, too, because it was a little sports car, but... The Eclipse. So anyway, yeah, I'd say the league leaders, Dodge Neon and the Volkswagen, not the Rabbit, that cat. Was it a Cabrio or Cabriolet? Or was it both?
Cabriolet.
But I think they called it a Cabrio.
The Neon was a cheap car. That was why it was easy to get. Neon was cheap as hell.
So Rich saw an eclipse, not a Mitsubishi eclipse, a lunar eclipse. Spot drove 14 hours to see a solar eclipse.
13 hours.
Big difference.
To witness the path of totality. Big difference. Spot has no patience for it. Rich never saw Apocalypto. That's what I'm getting out of this.
Yeah.
Was there a solar eclipse? I never saw Apocalypto.
Well, hold on now.
Fantastic
I don't know.
movie, bro. Are you serious?
You may be beat Spot. I don't know if he's a single older guy, but apparently Sarah just hit me up and said her uncle once went to Egypt to watch a solar eclipse.
I hope you're downplaying.
Nah, last night was the best. Lunar eclipse. It doesn't get cooler.
Downplaying. Like, yeah, lunar eclipses are cool. I've seen a ton of them in my life.
Same. I've had a bug out moment, watching those. Like,
I've seen one total solar eclipse in my life, and that was the one I drove to.
How about that time you had the total eclipse of the heart? Remember that?
That was great.
That was 3 years ago, right?
Partial. You'd be surprised. There are partials, but you have to be in such a specific zone to catch because think about it, the size of the moon in relation to the size of the earth, in relation to the size of the sun. So you're going to have a lot more total eclipses of the moon than you are of the sun.
I brought this up first today, Covino, for a good reason, because I figure anything we talk about after this is more exciting.
Good. I'm glad.
You know what? That's for you. Because I could talk about this all day.
On purpose, I was like, listen.
You're how little you care about.
I'm surprised it's like the first
wonders
time
of the world.
You said it's not the first time, but you're acting as if it was. It's a cool moment. I'm not gonna lie. Or a blood moon. I'm not
saying I haven't seen an eclipse before. I'm just saying it's been a minute. And also, I've lived in places that have a lot of light pollution, so you really can't see things that good. And I don't know, like I really didn't care. I was in my 20s, probably like out and about, like eclipse tonight. I don't know. it was on the news. My mother-in-law said, hey, outside there's an eclipse. I'm like, oh yeah, I heard that. And I just happened to time it perfectly. We finished our Fox Sports show last night, and that was the exact time it was happening. So it actually worked out convenient.
I couldn't find it. Look, I have a pretty sweet patio, the patio of love. And I went out there to see it, but I was like, it's not in my view. It must have been behind me. So
it was very, when it started,
yeah,
it was very low in the horizon, so it was hard to see. I didn't see it until I went out later around 9 o'clock.
Tried.
It was higher up in the sky, but it held for a minute.
You know, it's the league. Sunsets and anything in the sky are the league leaders in you're never going to be able to capture that shit on a camera.
Oh, yeah. No, never do it justice.
Yo, like not like
maybe that's why Bigfoot's
a
always blurry, and maybe that's why we never get great footage of UFOs.
Not
cameras
even,
just don't work in that way.
Not even a little bit of footage, Covino. I'm talking like if you tried to take a picture of the moon, unless you have like a fucking Mondo lens, like if you try to take it's the dumbest thing when people take pictures of the sky with their iPhone. It's like, hey, nope, not working. It looks so terrible. Like it's like, yeah, all right, a blob in the air.
Why you tried to capture it?
Well, for 1 minute, I'm like, all right, let me see if this. No, the minute I held up my phone, I'm like, nothing. Nope, nothing. But hey, there you go. I got the boring stuff out of the way.
You're wearing a Champion sweatshirt? Is that an old school Champion sweatshirt? Sarah's stepdad's Champion sweatshirt, or like you went out and bought one?
No, I bought this at your favorite place in the world. I bought this at for like 20 or $30 at Costco.
I'm just wondering, what they're going for, because back when, dude, junior high days for me, Champion sweatshirts were the shiz bam snappy.
Yeah.
And you would fold up the little sleeve because the sleeves, the elastics on the sleeves were always long, so you'd roll it up. You have different colors. Then it went away, and it was some Dick's Sporting Goods shit. Just a step above Russell Athletic Wear. And then
like
it came
literally
back again.
Just a little step above. You gotta go to Moe's, which by the way, I heard Modell's officially out of business. You probably knew that already. I did not.
No, I didn't know that.
Guess enough people didn't feel they had to go.
That's sad to hear, man.
Like there's no such thing as Modell's anymore. But I remember going to Modell's, and that's where you would get like shitty school clothes, like Champion sweatsuits, and you would get Lee jeans.
But there was
Wranglers.
a point, but there was a point where it was like the dope shit. That's not what I'm talking. Then it came back, so I don't know where it is now. But you got it at Costco, huh? Oh, there's
Costco.
There's fine.
By the way, all right. For me, who hates Costco, before we get into the meat of the show, because when I tell you, I have like pages and pages of notes of stuff I want to get to today. So let's get it rolling. But I'm going to tell you, there's 5.
I'm ready.
5 things at Costco. 5 things at Costco worth getting. By the way, have you ever seen that video? Spot like pretended that he froze for a second. You ever see that video where the guy is doing a presentation and he's like this? And they're like, John, we see your ceiling fan moving. Like he didn't want to be at his work Zoom. And he's like, so I talked to the client and everyone's like, oh, John froze. And like, John, your ceiling fan's moving. So 5 things you could buy at Costco that won't annoy me. Because I always tell you Costco's a money trap. I hate it, but I love it at the same time. I bought this Champion sweatshirt, which is comfy. I bought Nautica joggers. I bought a pair of gray ones and a pair of black ones for like $12 each. Like very comfortable, like sweatpants. You can wear to bed, wear around the house, wear whatever. Like Nautica jogger sweatpants.
Tapered,
fantastic.
like they're tapered?
Yeah, pretty good. They're awesome.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
I think our buddy Gary Streisky was also raving about them. The Nautica joggers are fantastic. They have a tortellini salad. Like, you know how you would buy tortellini salad at a deli counter? It would be like $5 for a tiny little thing. Mm-hmm. There's like a tub of tortellini salad for $10. The $5 chickens, and I think that's it. Yeah.
The hot dogs.
And the Adidas socks. The Adidas socks are good.
That's all that's of value at Costco.
Everything
for
else
those
is
of you
terrible.
wondering. That's it. Everything else is waste
terrible.
of money. You don't need it. You don't need paper towels, toilet paper, anything else but that. Just joggers and Champion sweatshirts.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rich's weekend adventures of eclipses and Costco. He's in Texas. We had a fun show on Fox Sports Radio last night. If you missed it, that's where we covered all the Game 7s and all the nonsense, all the blowouts. and a lot of fun yesterday. So check that after today's show, foxsportsradio.com. We posted the link on social media at Covino and Rich. Again, I'm Steve Covino. Thank you guys for hanging. Hope you had a nice weekend. Rich Davis and Spotty, let's go. Let's scratch off all those little notes you made. Let's go.
Let me tell you this.
To get to.
Is there a solar eclipse in your place? It keeps getting dark.
That's Rich's head blocking the sun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's my head in the sun. Everywhere I go, and I'm sure people feel this way too, that are loyal friends and family and listeners of Covino and Rich. Everywhere you go, there's some type of sign or joke of our show present at all times. So I go to the airport to come to Texas, and I go to the little newsstand that sells like shitty sandwiches for like $15 and candy and all that. And Covino, I saw they were selling for the plane next to like the sleep masks and all that shit. Mm-hmm. Fluffy socks, but they were actually called fluffy socks. And I was going to buy you a pair. Spot, I sent you a picture at the airport. I'm like, oh, I got to get Covino some fluffy socks. I think that's the brand name. You're onto something. The rage of fluffy socks.
One of our listeners sent us those.
Oh, one size fits all.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on those. But yeah, kind of man. Like, absolutely.
You can get black ones.
What kind of man wears
you won't
those?
Notice. Yeah, but
one time I saw Apollo rocking those. I said, take those off.
Stop that.
What kind of man? Absolutely.
But Covino,
no.
Spot's right. There's black fluffy socks, like made for you.
Yeah.
Those, the ones on the left are like, yo, like I'm sort of manly, but they're very fluffy.
If I'm going on a ski trip, maybe. Otherwise, I'm good.
I love the fact that you
the ones I'm wearing right now are probably the lamest things ever. Do you want to see these bad boys?
I do.
They are the It's funny you bring this up, but here, let me explain why.
Hold on. I'm going to go to your.
What are you rocking today?
I have a shoe that I like. It's called Nothing New, right? But they're a low shoe, like a Converse type of shoe with no laces. They're just like
you can't wear high boys with those. It'll look stupid. In fact, you probably can't even wear black socks with those. It'll look stupid.
Well, it'd be a scandal if I rock my black socks wearing these. Now, get it? Black sock scandal?
I know. That's like,
no, you didn't get it. That was a Howie Mandel quickie for you. You can't even wear ankle socks rocking those type of kicks because it just don't flow. So you have to wear the no-show socks, but no-show socks are the lamest looking things.
They're the flimsiest.
Oh, they're like, it looks like you stole. I am the first to admit I want to punch myself in the nose for wearing these. It looks like you stole your girlfriend or wife's socks. And that's how I feel right now. Only because I was wearing those shoes.
Little poof balls on the heel? If not, you're fine.
What are those?
Look how cute, Rich.
Nice footsies. Nice tootsies, bro.
They are the lamest looking things. I'm so not flexible right now. I'm all stiff. I've been hitting the gym. Swole Vino's back. But yeah, they look like little, like, feminine socks, but only so that you can actually wear socks. Here's your options. You either wear no socks, which I'm allergic to.
No, you can't because it's
gross.
Those socks will get all sweaty in the sneak. You'll ruin them quick.
Or you got to rock some low profile bad boys, and I got those sent to me. But man, those are the lamest looking things. So
they're really meant for, I think, like more dress shoes, not sneakers.
The ones I'm wearing?
Yeah.
No, the ones he's wearing are designed for low-top sneakers in the summer.
They're just meant for like no showing when you're trying to get that look, or you just, like, when you want to look like you're not wearing socks, but you want to wear socks.
I mean, am I wrong? Aren't they called peds?
I don't know if that's what women call them, but yeah, I was thinking that too. I don't know what they're called.
Peds, yeah. These are low, like no-show socks are called peds. By the way, I saw a meme that said,
bad boys.
Someone sent me a meme that said, this is perfect for me, since I say the word cute a lot. They said, quote, hold on, fellas, I got to go get my shoesies on, is something that would totally kill a guy's night out vibe.
Oh, hell yeah.
I love how you thought we couldn't get any worse than talking about the eclipse. Now we're talking about socks.
Well, no. Rich brought up fuzzy socks, and
so
here I am being a critic.
Celestial events to socks.
Look, if he's going to talk about fluffy socks and I'm going to make fun of him, I have to come clean and say, I mean, what I'm wearing right now is not a whole lot better, but it goes with the shoe that I'm wearing. So, okay, yeah, I'm with you, though. The moon, socks. What's next?
All right, moon, socks. My kids are at the age now where traveling has gotten a little easier because they are contained Like, Spot, we don't need to be a super Warner Wolf, go to the videotape a million times today, but I sent you a video at Covino and Rich, like, just Emmy and Ben sitting on the plane. Like, I think I've hit the point. Now, knock on wood, because I know you go through parenting, you have easy times, hard times, easy times, hard times. But right now, they're getting to the point where traveling isn't as much of a pain in the ass, if that makes sense, because they're occupied. They're occupied watching cartoons or some shit. So it's sort of like not hard. And to be honest, it was the smoothest trip we've ever taken as far as traveling with the kids.
That's good to hear. Growing up, yeah,
so
a little independent now.
So we had an easy trip to Texas. Yeehaw, we're here, and I have a bunch of notes I wrote down. So let's get right into it.
Show the videotape.
Yeah. Like 3 hours of them just sitting there watching cartoons on their iPads and stuff. But it was just easy. I mean,
Ben's
they're not annoying travelers anymore.
You gave Sarah a little break. That was sweet.
Ben's wearing Rich's
Yeah.
socks. You saw that? It's cute. They share socks already.
Yeah, we share socks.
Fluffy socks?
So I have cool stories, a friend in need, some funny videos. Where do you want to start? You tell me where you want to start.
I mean, if we're going to talk about the weekend, which we always do on a Monday, had a nice weekend. I watched a lot of baseball. My guy Nasty Nestor was on the mound again. I'm excited. I'm pumped up about this guy. I'll talk about him later. The Bronx Nest Monster, Nasty Nestor Cortez. Yankees still winning. Lots of great sports. Again, foxsportsradio.com.
By the way, do those nicknames only stick if he continues to do well? Like if he starts stinking, the whole Nasty Nestor, Loch Nest Monster, these things all go away the minute he starts stinking. Like these are not permanent nicknames.
Yeah, it's like Fester Nestor. I don't know. Like they changed the name, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's only cool right now.
You can't like if your nickname is because you're like some big rip guy. If you become a fat guy,
Ask
like
Fester Nestor.
Handsome Gabe told me in Vegas that he feels a pressure to stay handsome because we nicknamed him Handsome Gabe. So he's like, "Yo, I can't get ugly. I'm fucking Handsome Gabe."
Dude,
and I'm like, that's sort of true.
My grandma called me Chulo. How can I let her down? I got to keep it going.
You can't.
No one else calls me Chulo. I'm hoping someone could. Hey, you know what, Rich? Can you call me Chulo? Anyway.
Chulo.
Friday did a whole lot of nothing. We didn't do a Free Twitch Friday. We're trying to rebrand that, trying to figure out what else we could do on Friday as opposed to just a watered down version of what we do Monday through Thursday on Patreon.
Agreed.
So Rich was traveling anyway, took Friday off, hit the gym. I've been pretty good. I've only missed 2 days this entire month just as a break. And Friday just lamped, watched some sports. I don't think I did much of anything. Catching up on Better Call Saul, which is fantastic. Saturday came around, and I dumped my daughter off at my sister's house, and she had a blast all weekend. She ended up like not wanting to come back. I'm like, that's fine with me. Stay there all you want and eat all their food. But anyway, Saturday, dropped my daughter off at my sister's because it was our buddy Jaime Tavares' birthday extravaganza for the ages. And Jordan and I went out. I wasn't sure if Spotty was going. Spot was at a wedding.
I was at a
Rich,
wedding,
you
yeah.
were in Texas. So I went out with all of Jaime's pals to a really swanky place in L.A. that we used to pass all the time, but I'd never been there. Or I'd never been to the one by our old job. Boa?
Oh, Boa, the steakhouse, yeah.
Yeah. So we went
that's
there,
cool.
and I sent you the picture.
Sassy.
Spot. Yeah, no, it was a nice time,
Extra
man.
sassy.
But I gotta tell you what happened. You could pull up the picture.
I'm pulling it up.
So we're there at the party celebrating Jaime, who's there with his chain on, rocking
Without a doubt,
rocking
the
that
trend
Traxxon.
continues, Covino. Didn't we just recently talk about how every sassy place has the faux leaf wall now?
I don't know if that's a faux leaf wall, because in the real picture the bushes go all the way up. It could be though. Yeah, no, it looks fake. Probably fake. You're probably right.
But the faux leaf wall is the rage now.
That's definitely faux grass.
That's faux. Yeah, definitely. And I think I'm wearing.
And that
These
fanny
same
pack
kind of socks.
And that fanny pack is a faux pas.
Well, no. Look, I'm not leaving my bag in shitty Los Angeles while it's parked there at a meter. You know what I mean? So I just took it with me.
But why did you have your bag in the first?
Bag.
Because I carry my stuff in a bag.
But like you were going out.
I
for
didn't
the
want
night,
to
so
take
like
it. Actually, I didn't want to take it into the restaurant. And Jordan's like,
But-
if someone breaks into the car for your stupid bag, then like I don't want to hear about it. It's like, I'm all right.
So
I'll
like you
take
left
it.
the house and you grabbed your purse,
Yeah.
essentially. Like you weren't like coming to work.
You went to dinner. What did you need besides your wallet and your phone?
Everything. Sunglasses, chapstick, everything I possibly could carry.
Put in the
Headphones.
glove box, no? Or in the trunk if you're that scared?
I would know if Jordan wasn't with me and didn't make a big deal about me leaving my bag in the car exposed for someone to break in. I would have
About the trunk.
not. I would have just left it in the car.
You
So
carried
I
a
wouldn't
purse
have
to
had it
dinner.
with me.
You brought a purse to dinner.
I mean, you can say that all you want.
You brought a
I'm
purse.
also
I mean, we
wearing
can't
pets.
because it's true. You brought a purse to dinner.
You left the house.
You could pounce
grabbed
on
your
that and
bag.
hold on to it all you want. I would have left it in the car, but I carry my things in a bag. My keys, I have all kinds
No,
of
the
stuff in
valet.
it.
Like
Or Jordan's bag.
like when I go yeah, you're at work, which I still don't understand. You need the bag, but
Because I have,
Like,
the whole thing is full.
when
Do
I
you
go
want-
out
you
with
want me to empty my
Kristen-
bag?
When I go out with Kristen to dinner, right? She'll say, "All right, you're going to carry all the keys, right?"
I have guns.
so I don't need to worry about anything. I'm like, "Yep, got the keys."
I have sunglasses. I have all my chargers that I need just in case. I have my wallet that I'm not fitting in my
Who's
pocket.
in there?
It's called a
Justin
nice
Herbert?
wallet, not you with a fucking rubber band. This is a Louis Vuitton wallet. I care about my things.
Oh, Louis
I'm
Vuitton
not-
wallet.
I'm
Do you
not
think
loose-
that
I'm
helped
not
your
loose
argument?
change
What was
guy.
that?
It is. It does help my argument.
$20
I care
at
about
Macy's?
things. I got nice things. This is a nice fucking bag I got. I got headphones, something that you should have because you never have them. I got my keys on a fucking little hattie you do. Look at that. Never lose them. These are things that don't fit in my pocket.
I understand.
I got mints just in case. Keep it fresh. Dude, I'm fresh. Just because you're a slob doesn't mean I have to rock, your style.
But why do these things need to be on your person is what me and Spotter asked.
I
when you're
I don't know what part of your ears aren't clean, but maybe you should carry Q-tips in your bag. I said
okay.
I would have left it in the car, but Jordan made such an issue about don't leave it there. And so I said, I'm going to put it in the trunk.
you
She goes, no.
stop
Because now,
off-
what if someone's watching you put it in the trunk? Just take it with you. I wouldn't have brought it
question.
to dinner. Therefore, wouldn't have been an issue.
Just answer one question for me. Did you leave from your place to go directly to dinner?
I don't remember.
Like, did you get ready, get in the car, go to dinner?
There's still a lot on my person. I don't like keys, wallet. Look at my jeans. You think I'm fitting all that in those fucking bad boys? That's uncomfortable for me. You do you. You guys look sloppy to me. So, I mean, you could criticize my bag. You guys look sloppy to me.
Not carrying a purse, it's sloppy.
It's not it's a fucking expensive bag. Expensive than your whole outfit. It's a nice bag.
Oh,
It is expensive. Better than his fucking
Insult.
insult. You're saying I'm wearing a purse. You're wearing a champion sweatshirt from Costco.
Cavino says,
is
Ray
what
said
it is.
Cavino has a purse and he gets all defensive.
My purse is worth more than your fucking wardrobe.
It's a nice bag. It's called swag, bro. You guys should get some. Maybe they sell that at Costco. Use your membership.
Ray says Cavino has a purse and gets all defensive. How funny. Yep. That's exactly what's happening, Ray.
Is it a purse or a bag? It's not a purse. It's a sling bag.
But
I mean, you could say it's a purse. That doesn't bother me as much as you think it
I'm
does.
joking because it's like you went out on a date night. And
I
you
went
felt
out.
the need
I
to
would have
bring it back.
I would have left it in the car. What part of that story?
But why does it even need
is
to come from the
dismissed
house
for
to
the
the car?
comfort? Why
does it need to come from the house to the car?
Because I carry all my shit in a bag. Here's my bag. I got everything. You know what I mean? Like, I would have left it in the car. Wouldn't have been a story. I get it's fun to make fun of, but it would have been left in the car hadn't it been.
It was nice of you to coordinate your bag with not only your outfit but Jordan's.
I got Jordan that bag. It's a nice bag. It's a YSL. But you guys don't know shit about that.
What's a YSL?
Again, you wouldn't know.
Yves Saint Laurent.
What
You
does that
wouldn't
mean?
know.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
No, Rich wouldn't know.
What does that mean? YSL is that
It's a nice
is that a
bag,
brand?
dude. It's
Oh,
things
a brand,
that you're
okay.
into. Either you're into it or you're not. I like a nice bag, dude. I like it. Not a purse, but I already explained this is the part that's annoying me.
Okay.
Not that you call it a purse. I don't give a fuck if you like it. I've always, for 20 years, for my entire life, rocked a
carry-all.
bag or a backpack or something.
Just admit that
right?
you're a fancy boy.
Yeah, I am. I like nice things.
Just
I
say
am.
it.
I'm not a slob
fancy
like
boy.
you guys. I'm a fancy boy. So
Okay.
I was going to leave my bag in the car. That's the part you're dismissing for the fun of the story. It was sort of forbidden for me to do that. No, take it. Now definitely take it because someone's going to say, and I'm like, I don't want to take my bag into the restaurant, but I did. for that reason. So that's the part of the story where like you have to factor it in as part of the story. But either way, let's see this Seinfeld clip to really bring it home.
I really have to.
Hold on. True.
Jerry, you forgot your purse.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, Silvio, look at Jerry here, prancing around in his coat with his purse.
Yep, he's a dandy. He's a real fancy boy.
Maybe this isn't my coat.
Yeah, all right, you're not fancy.
No, he's very fancy. Want me, love me, showering me with kisses.
That's you. That's funny. I'll be a dandy when it comes to that. I got a
Do you want to be showered with kisses? And
you should see my Toomey backpack. I love the shit out of it. I like it so much.
It's Joe Mayo.
I only use it on special occasions. I don't even like bust it out all the time. I have a bag that I'm so proud of. I got it in Vegas.
Hey! Officer! There he goes! Someone took my European carry-all!
Yo, what?
It's a black leather thing with a strap.
You mean a purse?
Yes, a purse!
Yes.
Carry a purse!
I mean, it's a sling bag.
Just admit it.
I know.
Carry a purse.
I'm the only guy with a sling
Say it.
bag. I rock
Say
either a
you're a
sling
fancy
bag
boy.
or
You're
a backpack.
fancy boy.
If I'm a fancy boy, I don't know what you guys are, so you
I
should figure
am
it
a
out.
caveman.
I'll be a fancy boy because I like nice shit, and I'll be a fancy boy all day. But the point of the story that's annoying to me is you keep posing the same question. I wouldn't have brought it to the restaurant. I wasn't leaving my
Why does
my
it even
bag
need to come
in
with you at
shithole
all?
Los Angeles
That's
where
the
they're going to
point.
break into it just to take my bag full of really nothing valuable, just my belongings. So, what?
it's all good. Let him
I'm
carry
gonna
on
let
the
it go.
story.
What, carry on like his little fancy boy purse?
Let him Italian carry on. My satchel. My
Coming from a guy who up until a month ago used a Bud Light backpack. So I don't know. You tell me. What's cooler? The Bud Light freebie
but I didn't bring a
or
Bud
the
Light-
nice bag that I got?
But you know what? I didn't feel the need to bring my Bud Light backpack to dinner.
I wouldn't have brought it to
I used
dinner.
my Bud Light
It would
backpack
have
for
stayed
work.
in my car.
So even in my car, unless I was going to work.
Hey, Spot, you're the fucking greatest then. I don't know, man. You're the best.
I am.
Spot's the best, everybody.
I have a question. Has Jordan ever asked you, hey, can you put this in your bag?
When we take a walk to the grocery store and we're out of room with our little, because you have to bring your own bags
you
to the
put this in
grocery
your
store.
bag?
Yeah. But not this one. This one's a little smaller. This one's like
Can you put my phone in
a
your
lot
bag?
more of a sling. It's a sling.
Would you get offended if we were out and Spot or I said, honey, can you hold this and handed you something?
Yeah, if I gave you my phone and I
No.
want to, because I didn't want, you would hold it for me?
No, but if you asked me to use a charger or something, I'd tell you to suck my dick because I would say, bring your own. And if you asked me for a piece of gum, I'd say, lick my balls because bring your own. Or if you said, oh man, you got sunglasses, I'd be like, damn right I do. Got them right here. Go fuck yourself.
ask the ladies.
And if you ask me like, oh man, Covino, dude, you got a mint or anything? I'd be like, yo, lick my ass because I got it. Get your own and eat some shit.
You should ask the ladies what they do when they go to dinner, but they don't want to bring their purse into the restaurant. Like, do they hide it? Do they put it in the trunk?
I think the trunk is a
They
good
lock
thing.
it in the
Jordan
glove
thought someone
box.
was scoping you out, though.
Yeah, it was
Do
a
you
total
think she's a little
conversation.
paranoid with that stuff?
No, her car was her car was broken into in the past few years in our garage. With a lot of money in the car. So you learn from your lessons.
Yeah. It's like until it happens to you, like you don't think it will happen to you, and then it happens to you, and then you don't want.
No, I was just.
Yeah,
I'm
she
just
had
saying,
money
like,
in the trunk, and someone obviously saw her put something in the trunk, and broke into our car. So I mean, shit happens. That's you gotta have the eye of the vato, bro. You have to know that people are
life in the barrio, I guess.
Yeah.
Nah, it's shady out there. It is shady out there.
All right, so you got to dinner. Anything go down at Jaime Tavares' birthday party?
No,
Any
I
crazy
just wanted
things?
to talk about my sling backpack that I've been wearing for fucking 20 years. That's hilarious. to
No,
everybody.
this is new. This is your fanny pack. This is new.
It's the same concept. It's
Was
the
this
same bag.
was this like a swingers birthday party?
No, I don't roll like you, bro. I'm not a creep.
Oh, okay.
So
What does that mean?
those are Jaime's friends. Because Rich is a banana peel away from swing. You too. No, this is Jaime with his sweet ass Jackson chain, as I pointed out. I was like, is that a Jackson? He's like, yeah, how'd you know? I was like, because I know.
Chains
Those are
and
his
bags.
pals. And I had met them for the first time that day. They were nice people, nice time. Actually, great time. But, it was an expensive dinner. Jaime rolls sort of swanky, right? This place was a nice steakhouse that I feel like I've been to, but not that specific one.
What was the chain?
Yeah. There's a few of them.
Yeah.
But you know when you're there, it's like, it is an expensive steakhouse. So it's his birthday.
No, you've been to Balboa's. you haven't been to Boa's.
Balboa's.
There's no fanny pack at Balboa's.
Hey.
All right, so anyway.
This is like we eat raw eggs and stuff.
So,
Rich, did we ever give Rich the trivia question? Because I feel like we did this when he wasn't here.
Which was it? Which was what?
Rich, how many eggs does Rocky Balboa crack into his glass in the morning?
Oh, yeah.
I think 3.
No.
No?
It's more.
4? 5?
5
We
huevos.
thought because we counted them and we thought he was going for a half dozen, but he stopped at 5, which we found to be an odd number.
That's like a lot of eggs.
Right?
So, Jaime was there, looking handsome, celebrating his birthday. Again, one of our listener friends. I say listener friends because just to give it reference, a guy we met through the show that became an actual friend. And he's one of the nicest dudes, one of the most generous dudes. He was rocking his Cuban link. He was looking handsome. And I'm looking around, I'm like, is his birthday? Is this a 3-way split between me and these other 2 dudes who I don't know, who I just met, right?
That sounds fair. That seems to be right.
Yeah, dude, talk about ball dropped. Just as the thought is starting to enter my brain, like, hey, dudes, guys, I even said to Jaime, like, we got this, right? We're going to split it up, right? He's like, oh, man, nah. He's like, you're too late, bro. The whole thing's on me. I'm like, I got to admit, there's like all these feelings come rushing through my body. I was like, in that case, I would have got the tomahawk steak. More. Right. In that case, I would have got another old fashioned and another one. But so many feelings go through your mind and body when you hear that news. You're like, man, like, yeah. And then you're like, you shouldn't have, but I'm glad you did, kind of. Like, you have all these, like, torn feelings.
I have a thought. Is there only...
My point in bringing this up is you gotta... if you're going out with a guy like Jaime, you have to know that they run that way, right? And they're going to try to beat you to the punch, and they're just happy that you're there and it's on them. And he didn't do that for me to bring this up in any way. I'm just bringing it up as a reminder to everybody to think ahead, which I'm not good at doing. But, man, you're taking a bud out or meeting him out for his birthday. He's the last guy that should be paying at all. That's the reminder number 1. Reminder number 2, if you're with a generous guy like him, with his sweet Jackson Cuban link looking sassy and snazzy, like, you got to beat them to the punch early on because they're just going to be ahead of that on you. And I felt like, fuck, he got me again. So... whoever's birthday it is, it should be a free night out. And instead, it was a free night out for me.
This is not on you. This is on anyone. I wonder if there's sometimes, and by the way, Spot, is there where you could send me the link so I could see the feedback?
Oh, you know what? I was just about to, I was in the middle of pulling it up.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, if you could send me the link for the feedback, that way I could read some of the chat as well as the text messages.
Cuban link,
Most interactive show in the podcast radio world.
What is it? What's the brand? Jackson.
Yeah.
Is there a point, Covino? And this is no direction at you and Jaime. You ever think there's times where the generous person's like, yo, enough is enough. Like, how many times am I going to treat this person? Like, there are people that are generous, but eventually they're going to be like, yo, like, am I ever going to get the favor thrown back at me? You might be the generous friend is what I'm saying. Like, I'm talking to everyone. You might be the generous guy where it's like, hey, I got lunch. And eventually you're thinking, yeah, you think maybe one time the other guy will be like, I got lunch?
This would have been my opportunity with his butts to say, yo, Jaime, it's your birthday. Dinner's on us. Happy to see you. But he paid for everyone, which had to be a hefty bill, dude. He flipped the bill. Had to be expensive. Again, drinks were flowing, appetizers, dessert, the whole deal, the whole spiel. And I was like, man, you didn't have to do that, bro. He's like, listen. And this is the interesting part of the story, too, because you got to realize some people, and this is what made me feel a little better about it, too. So I was like, oh, man, that's fucking weak. Even though I appreciated it. Like, again, I'm torn because a part of me is like, yes, what a free dinner that was. How nice. But a part of me was like, man, you should have had it. He says, dude, you got to understand, to have all my friends out here for my birthday, he's like, that means a lot to me. He goes, and like giving is what makes me happy. Like being generous is like, that's what makes me happy. He's like, so, hey man, like I this is my pleasure. And I'm like, yeah, all right, well, you're welcome then. But
so then you said, Jaime, so what you're saying is you paying for me made you happy. So I made you happy?
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, all right. Hey, yeah, I'll get an extra cheesecake. Thanks. To go. Yeah. I'll bring it home for Melody. Yeah, since he's paying for it. No, but then, it did make things a little better. But the reminder here is, yes, I know we all have generous friends that like to give. Some people just really like to give. He's one of those guys. And it's extra easy when he's got his sugar mama, Casey, on standby.
Yeah, she's balling.
Yeah,
so,
she's balling for real. But you also, as someone in mixed company, have to be proactive and throwing your card out early to be like, no. This, like, you have to be insisting that this is on you guys collectively. So just a reminder there. But I had a nice weekend. Just figured I'd bring that up as a reminder. I know we'd harp on my sweet-ass alpaca, rocking the alpaca bag. Shout out to them. And that's it for the weekend as far as, fun and entertainment. And then my daughter, I came home that night. Jordan said I was a little toasty. I didn't think I was. But she said,
how many drinks did Jaime Tavares buy you?
All right, I had one tequila drink, some snazzy tequila thing that Jordan said, I want to taste that. So I had one drink that I wasn't going to get, but I got it and it was good. Then I had 2 old fashions, and then they brought wine. So
you're talking about, you got to, I'm sure you were a little toasty. You're not a big drinker, so you were probably feeling a little bit.
But either way, when I got home, I was going to pick up Melody. Melody was like, hey, I want to stay at Grace's. She was already sleeping anyway. So I was like, all right, cool. She stayed there, had a nice rest of my weekend, hung out with you guys yesterday, and here we are today. So that was my weekend. I hope all your teams won. I hope you enjoyed all your playoffs. And we continue and proceed with the bar, Phil.
Jake hit us up and said, times like that, you have to jump out ahead of time and say, hey, it's your birthday.
That's the reminder.
Did you forget
We're taking care of you tonight. Don't try any shenanigans.
That's the reminder, guys. Honestly, it just regardless of them wanting to be kind.
I did it for my birthday? Did you forget that?
Yeah, but this just happened.
I know, but I'm saying, I did it for my birthday. They're the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to go to a nice place, and I didn't want to, mixed company. I didn't want to force people to have to pay for my desires. So I just decided to do it.
It's just for it. It's a beautiful gesture, and that was another wonderful night. But again, that's another. I should have learned from my previous lesson. Rich and I dropped the ball. We should have been like, no, Spot. We insist. In fact, we already paid.
You know where this also applies, not just birthdays. If you want to go somewhere with someone, a concert, a game, if you're the guy that's like, yo, I'm not going to go unless the seats are dope, you should tell the other person, it's on me. I don't want to put the pressure on you to buy the expensive tickets. If you're going to a ball game or a concert, and let's say, Covino, you're like, I'm not going to a concert unless I'm sitting fucking VIP up front. Someone might say, oh, I was going to get general admission. And that's where you have to say, I'm not going to roll general admission, but you know what? It's on me. You have to.
This General Booty doesn't sit in general admission.
General Booty, my new favorite college football player from Oklahoma, quarterback. General Booty.
Figured I'd shout him out. Got lots of other shout outs to give today. But again, happy belated to Jaime Tavares. Congratulations on his new job. And just meeting new people was a lot of fun. And they were all interested in you guys. You guys couldn't make it, but I partied and represented on your behalf. So it was a nice time out, nice Saturday night. And, it's nice to have a swanky night out every once in a while.
A lot of fake wallet grabs people are asking at the table, when they're like, no, where his other friends oh, I got it. Oh,
I don't know if he had that conversation with his pals prior. So I don't know what they knew or didn't know. All I knew was I was taken by surprise. So when I reached into my bolsa, my man bag, my purse for my wallet, I was genuinely reaching for my wallet. And I was like, oh.
So every other guy reached for their wallet. You were shuffling through your purse?
I was shuffling through my purse.
Yeah.
And yeah. He Makes had sense. It taken care of. So it's a baller move. It's a baller move for the birthday boy or the person inviting everybody out, like Spot, like Jaime. So it's a baller move, and it's a generous move. But to combat that move, not that you're trying to take away from their generosity, but it's their night. It's their birthday. They should be the last person playing and paying. You might have to think ahead and drop the card immediately. Like, hey, this guy's going to try to pay. this is on us. You know, it happens. It happens too often.
I think, it's interesting when there is someone with money in the crew. I mean, because every crew's different. I would say for the most part, you probably hang out with most people that are in the same financial window as you, right? Like, it's rare that fucking ballers are hanging out with broke people, but everyone's slightly different. Like, do you feel that plays a factor? Like, if you're the guy that's like, hey, I just got a new job and I'm the new president of this new bank, and Jaime Tavares is talking about his new job and how he's balling, is there a pressure to be like, well, I did just tell the whole fucking table that I just got a big job and I'm like the president of a bank, like maybe I should pay?
No, I think when you're going out with adults, everyone should be ready and willing to cover their own portion of the bill. You know, so again.
But Spot made a good point, though. A lot of times, if you want to go somewhere, you don't want someone to not show because they're like, yeah, I want to go, but I can't afford it. So maybe it is the job of the person that's throwing the dinner or the event to assess.
Well, again, that's the other meat of the conversation. You know, I didn't bring it up just to tell a boring story. There's something there that we need to figure out, right? Like, I appreciate the generosity. Like, I really appreciate it. I'm like, sweet. But then there's a part of me that's like, man, I would have chipped in on that. He didn't have to do that. So there's something there that I can't really put my finger on. And that's the other part of it, Rich, what you just said, right? Like, is it the move of Jaime or Spot or whoever's hosting the party to be like, you know, man, this is a swanky place that I chose. This is on me. Is that the move? And you just accept it? I don't know. I know I felt like I want to chip in on this. So
you know what?
I mean, there's a part of me even it out, and you get him drinks next time. I don't know.
And I know Jaime very well. I know he's not a quote show off, but Kyle said a lot of times picking up the whole tab is a bit of a showy move. So there are people that are like, yo, if that guy wants to pick up the whole tab, fuck it, let him do it. If that makes him feel better to be like the big shot, like, yo, if John's like, don't worry, everybody, I got it. Yeah, fucking get it, John. If that makes you feel better.
But again, it was his birthday, so I was like, man, that should have been on us. But you're right. I mean, there is that feeling. Like I said, I was
super
torn.
generous.
The feeling is,
but
like,
there
sweet.
is and I've been the guy, and I agree. I've been the generous guy, but there is a bit of a show off vibe there where it's like, I got it. So if you're at a dinner with a group of people, if you're on like a quadruple date and it's like 8 people, 4 couples, and some guy is generous enough to be like, hey, don't worry, I already took care of it. Thank you so much. But in the back of your mind, you're like, dude, if this guy wants to be that guy, so be it.
Part of me felt that way.
Jaime just saved you 3 bills, I bet.
Well, you know what? I gave Jaime an extra big, hey, bring it in. Happy birthday. I gave him an extra big hug on behalf of the show.
You paid it in bro hugs?
And then when we were done, I was like, I'll bring it in again. I took my bag off to bring him closer.
You even took your bag off?
because I didn't want the strap in the way. I was like,
does he know what that means?
Yeah.
People just brought up a great story on our in-show YouTube stream, the thread. Someone said, wasn't it Rich who thought he lost his wallet at a restaurant? And it's really funny because I just hung out with that guy yesterday, my buddy Rick. You remember he had one too many tequilas at a nice Mexican restaurant in San Antonio?
He was toasted.
And we were all paying the bill. I knew that I had taken my credit card out, put it in the mix, and then I put my wallet on the table. If you remember correctly.
Damn it.
Do you guys remember the story?
Yeah.
Where I was searching through garbage cans. I thought the busboy took it. It was like an hour-long thing, and then they found surveillance, and my drunk buddy Rick took his wallet and my wallet and put it in his pocket by mistake. I saw that guy yesterday. I love Rick, but yeah, that was a classic story of going through garbage cans in the back of a restaurant to only find out my buddy had accidentally taken my wallet. And while you were hanging with Jaime Tavares, I was having a children's birthday party at a pottery place in New Braunfels, Texas.
Did Emmy flip the bill?
Emmy, I was like, Emmy, you got it? All right, good.
I got it, Dad.
break out your piggy bank. So
it is her birthday.
Yeah, no.
Happy birthday to Emmy Bear.
Emmy turns 5 today. So a little timestamp of our show. Today is the day that I became a dad. Today's the day Emmy was born. Spot, I sent you some pictures from 5 years ago today. And I also sent you a little video of Emmy's little birthday party. She got her big piece of dinosaur cake, and it was a good weekend, man. It's a big birthday because now I'm like, man, she starts kindergarten in August. We already signed her up. We got the official forms. Look at that. My two dads.
Guys.
No, me and Covino with Emmy 5 years ago today.
Wow.
Congratulations, guys.
That's funny.
Oh, she's so cute.
Spot, do you see the picture I sent of you with Emmy?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
Yeah. Can you believe that 5 years ago?
No.
She's such like a little kid now. Look at Spotty with Emmy.
I gave all of my weight to her. Man,
I know.
tiny. She still looks the same.
I know.
Oh, she's
So-
such a little nugget. Oh, she fits in
Can't
my arm.
believe
She
it.
doesn't fit in my arm anymore.
Well,
But yeah.
Hey, enjoy it while you can, Rich, because you can still carry her. And it actually dawned on me the other day that, yeah, I carried Melody probably for the last time on my hip and didn't realize it was the last time because, yeah, it happens like that. It's like, it really does. Like all of a sudden, you look at them and you're like, no, you're still my little, and then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, that shit's over like overnight. You're like, oh, how'd that happen?
Preston said she remembers exactly where she was when we were on the radio while Sarah was in labor in the background, which is fucking crazy that we did that. And I'm so glad we did because we have the archives of my wife pushing while I was sitting next to her on the air, which was wild when you think about it. Like a pretty cool thing to have,
I mean, you didn't have to do that, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah, but like a really cool thing we'll always have.
It was awesome.
But yeah, Emmy had her birthday party at one of those little clay places where they give all the kids like
Color Me Mine.
Yeah, sort of like very similar. It was like different place, but yes, like here's things painted and then they put it in their kiln.
She is just really a
couple days
champion,
later.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. What'd you make, Rich?
Here.
Get a little mug.
Feast your ears on this real quick.
She is just really a champion right now. It's crazy watching her.
Isn't labor amazing?
Ready? Yeah. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, that's right. Remember he cut off.
He's having a baby.
Oh. 5 years ago today, guys. 5 years ago today. Can you believe that?
It's crazy.
Pretty wild.
Wild stuff.
But yeah.
Happy
So
birthday to
that was
Emmy.
my Saturday spot. I sent you a little video of just Emmy at her little birthday party. But she woke up today. Emmy, that's a whole T-Rex cake, huh?
Oh, God, kids.
These are for tomorrow. She might.
That's a giant cake. Is that all for her?
Well, yeah, she wanted the whole T-Rex on the middle of the cake. So we're like, sure, it's your birthday, kid.
Jaime had the same one at the steak.
And he wanted
That's
the
pretty
whole,
cool.
He wanted the whole T-Rex.
Yeah.
So there you go. That
That's
was
awesome.
that was my yesterday. Got to hang out with friends. Emmy's little birthday party. Got to see all my Texas pals, and my daughter turned 5. Covino's got a purse. The playoffs stunk in basketball. An action-packed weekend. It is crazy to see
I've
different
always
friends of mine
had
down
a
here.
purse, I guess.
It's really wild to see like when someone does well, Covino, outside of LA or New York, like you do well in New York or LA. Yeah, you have a nice house. You do well in Texas, you're living like a fucking Huxtable. You're living like a Buxton. Like a different level. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Am I on? Okay, I didn't know. You like I was like you guys didn't follow up with anything. Okay, no, but yeah,
Like
it's
Boss Hog, waiting for you to tell the story.
No, I'm just saying like you see like certain people's houses and you're like, yeah, this is it's pretty wild. Like you yeah, you're a salesperson. You do well, huh? But like your house is that of like, if this, in my mind, it's like if this house was in Los Angeles, it would be like a $5 million house. Like the only house that Spot you could have reference to that we've like been in and really looked through, like Maria Menounos' house, right?
Opulent.
Like my friend has a house like Maria Menounos', and he's a sales guy. Like, you know, like basketball court, pool, backyard, fucking monstrous house, and he's a sales guy.
But plutonium? Like, what's he selling?
It's fucking the pharmaceutical
rocket fuel?
shit. Like, you make more than him.
Really? Well, I'm moving to Texas. As soon as Melody turns 18.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, when you see these things, you're like, and you know, people down here are pretty quick to be open about numbers. Like, well, yeah, last year I made this. And it's like, oh, wow, you talk about this stuff openly. Okay. And I'm like, so you made that. And then I'm starting to do the math. I'm like, you made that and this is where you live. Wow. Okay. And I start doing like math in my head. Like, so down here, pretty simple living. Yeah, he sells he sells plutonium. So
that's amazing, man. Yeah, I hate that. That bothers me a lot. Like, you know.
Yeah, but then again, then you got to remind yourself, like, all right, you live like, you know, 15, 20 minutes off the beaten path in a Texas town that you may not want to live in. You live in a very desirable place. We live in Los Angeles, and that's a place where, while people say
the weather's desirable, that's about it.
People say, oh, people are leaving California. It's still real estate's booming, and no one's really leaving. That's all nonsense. So,
I mean, people are leaving. It's the number one state of people leaving.
Yeah, but it's also the number one state of population. So it's a weird stat. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, if you count homeless people, but they're not buying real estate.
No. What I'm saying is, if it's the most populated place,
but people are
leaving
at a rapid rate because of exactly what you're describing. That's a fact.
Yeah. No, the house that Sarah and I bought and sold is already worth even more now than when we sold it. It's insane. It's like, what the hell is going on? Everyone's moving and doing different things. And Rashawn said, hey, if you make like 150 anywhere in the Midwest, you're living a pretty fucking great life. So think about that, everybody. Like, you know, big city versus smaller city. And that's changing a lot because people are realizing that now do you realize that like a lot of your friends are now working from home and how that's changed the game completely, like beyond that you've ever imagined?
Yeah.
A year ago.
I haven't returned to SiriusXM since the pandemic and have still maintained a job there.
I returned when they brought out my stuff to take home out front like I was a criminal.
I'm not saying I want to leave LA
to load up my car.
Believe it or not, I'm pretty happy that I want to stay. I want to stay in LA. I believe it or not. You would think my angle is like, hey, maybe we won't live in LA. I want to stay in LA. I'm just saying, it's pretty wild to think that for years of our life, we were driving to the SiriusXM studio in the morning, coming home, driving to downtown LA for ESPN, the TV studios. Now we work from home. You come to my house. We hang out. We don't need to. If we didn't want to go to Fox, we don't have to. I feel like we go to Fox because we feel like getting out of the house.
Game changer. I don't know how SiriusXM and other companies are able to justify even paying for that type of overhead that's just not needed and necessary anymore. You know,
did you see that friend in need? Covino, there's one of our listeners talked about how he feels weird about it. Like his company was like officially like, you're working from home. And he's like, oh, wow, I guess I work from home now. Like a lot, like it's probably a weird feeling for a lot of people that have probably done mass transit, sitting in traffic. And now they're being told by their companies like, yeah, you can work from home like at least half the week or maybe full time. It's a weird feeling.
You feel less productive for sure. You know, and you see your significant other a hell of a lot more than you used to. It's a relationship dynamic changer and shifter for sure too, though, because they were used to living their life seeing you half the day, and now you're there all day in your peds, walking around, you know, in your Nautica joggers. Like, do you ever leave the house? Like, well, I work from home. What do I gotta leave the house for?
No,
it does change everything.
Yeah, but then you got to say to yourself, like,
But then these these companies are just going to close shop then eventually. There's no way SiriusXM, again, I'm just using that as an example because that's where we work, but that's happening everywhere, could justify paying rent in LA hundreds of thousands of dollars for Wizard John to show up every day. I mean, there's not a lot of people showing up.
Honestly, millions of dollars for Wizard John and a couple producers to just show up.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just one example of thousands going on. So what happens eventually, these companies are going to realize, well, we could save a lot of money, especially with all the money we lost during the pandemic. Let's start saving money. We're closing shop. Everybody's working from home. There's no way. I don't know how SiriusXM justifies having that sort of setup. You know that's a pricey studio. Headquarters in LA.
They would never have built that if it was a year different. Because
no way.
They built that the year before COVID. They would never have done that. And there's a lot of companies that probably wish, oh man, why do we lease this big building in Chicago or LA or New York? Like they're probably analyzing, when's our lease up? When's this happening? For sure.
Makes sense now.
Changing dynamics, but hey, I just thought it was interesting. Again, I'm really happy in LA, but it is interesting when I'll go to a friend's house and they're like, "Hey, come on over," and I'm like, "Yeah, Sarah, what does he do again? Wait, he's a sales guy? Yeah, they have
he
like
must be selling Cutco knives left and right.
Yeah, he must be selling a lot of fucking medical appliances if they have a basketball court, a trampoline, a pool, 5,000 square foot house with like a fucking monstrous like fridge built in the wall, it's like opulence, and I'm like, wait, what do they do again?
Doesn't that go back to the conversation we had about a month ago about inflation and things not adding up? And I was saying, well, then either get another job to make shit even out in the meantime until they raise minimum wages and everything else, or fucking move. You're living beyond your means. Isn't that still living beyond your means? If you could afford some shit like that, if you just fucking move. You know, it'll make more sense if you then move because you can work from home.
Guys like Geoff,
most people can.
And I think Rando, a few people hit us up saying if people are leaving California so quickly, there's still 40 million people that live in California and the real estate is still on the upswing. So it's still inventory, you know? Yeah. I mean, Jason Brown, I'm reading the feedback. He goes, Rich is sizing people up. So how could you afford this? No, I'm saying I know.
You are, but from an impressed sort of standpoint.
But what I'm saying, Jason, is I know more than anyone.
More than anyone.
What
a Trump statement that is.
I know more than anyone. I know all.
More than anyone.
But I know more than anyone the cost of things now because we just redid a house. So like I know, like if I was on The Price is Right, which by the way, I watched some ridiculous documentary about a guy that was like a Price is Right fanatic. Have you ever seen this?
Yeah. He got He knew the prices, yeah.
He knew the price of everything, and he would call it out in the crowd, this nerd. It was worth the hour watch. Anyway, if I was on The Price is Right, Covino, I know the price of every sink, refrigerator, stove. I know how much it costs to put in floors. I know all this stuff because I just went through it. So when I see this guy, I'm like, that's a $20,000 refrigerator. I'm like, those sliding floor-to-ceiling doors that fold into each other. I'm like, that right there. In my mind, I'm like, how do they afford this?
He got the Florida ceiling ones? Oh, those are expensive.
Yeah.
Those are expensive.
So, yeah, no, it shows you that, you know.
You got it imported from Clearwater.
Yeah. I am sizing it up, Jason Brown. I mean, for real. I guess if it is saying, like, how do they afford it? I guess that is the question I'm asking. I guess it is. So just an observation from over the weekend. But I mean, I feel like I have that observation every time I travel into different cities.
Yeah,
you know?
Your money goes a much longer way than it does in New York and LA, which is where we have lived.
But I think people also have more space than they really need in other places. It's like, I don't know if you really need all that.
Yeah, you've even said that. Like this size house that you're in. Anything more, it's like it's more to clean, more to deal with, more to power, more to it's just more. There comes.
I mean, do I really need a bigger house than the one Sarah and I have? I mean, we have I mean, the kids have their own rooms. We have a guest room. We have our home studio there. That like anything bigger would be like a little eye rolly. Like what else do I like? It would be too much.
As cool. Like I remember recently they sold that house for what, 150 million. Like the most expensive house in the country in the Hollywood Hills here. And I watched the walkthrough. I'm like, as cool as this would be to own and have, if you really think about it, it's not as exciting as it seems.
You don't need all that.
You don't need all that.
You don't need all that. But hey, maybe that's a justification because you're living in an expensive place, Spot. Like anywhere else, Spot, you and your wife would have some Spot, you and your wife make more money than the couple probably that I'm talking about that lives like the Buxtons.
Probably. But we're comfortable, you know, we're okay. I mean, I would like a little bit more space, but we're okay in our 1,200 square foot apartment. We get by. Would be nice to have a little more room. Just a little more.
Your apartment's like the size of their living room.
Probably.
And you probably have a very comparable salary. That's all I'm saying. Ta-da, the end. Just a reflection on how different people live. Covino, you see that shit all the time on social media because we have friends and listeners and people all around the country. You ever see people complain about shit and you're like, that's how much you're complaining about? Like, I saw people talk about like $300,000 houses, and I'm like, imagine if you could buy a house for $300,000 where you are.
Well, like downtown Jason Brown says, the more you have to spend money on upkeep, right? The more you're spending on filling those rooms, maintaining your property, more money, more problems.
Oh, you know what it was? I think to wrap it up, I know what it was.
Rich, your situation here in Los Angeles is perfect. And you got 5 bedrooms. So that's a lot.
Yeah. I what's wild is I saw someone criticizing someone about like how do you not have a house? I had a house when I was 23. And I saw people in the comments like, well, how much was it? And he was talking about like $100,000 house he bought in the middle of nowhere. And it's like, well, yeah, people live very different lives.
Passive income.
I don't even know how a house could be built for $100,000. You ever think of that? Like when you see these houses, when you see houses that are like $200,000, aren't you thinking, how is it even built considering renovations cost more than their house?
Because we're paying probably less for the house and the construction, more for the property. Property's not as valuable wherever the fuck he is. In outer Mongolia.
Outer Mongolia.
Yeah.
Yeah, you live in outer Mongolia.
Yeah. All right, so there you have it. Can I give you guys a really cool story, and then we'll get to other things?
How cool is it?
It's very cool. I'm surprised you haven't brought it up yet to me off the air even. May 30th is a pretty cool day. You know what's happening May 30th?
30th is a Monday. It's Memorial Day?
It is Memorial Day, Spot. It's also my sister's birthday. Okay. What's up, Lori? Who, by the way, my sister has 2 months left of her formula, and I'm like on the lookout. Like, isn't that wild how the formula shortage is a real thing?
Just make breast milk, women.
Start pumping them tatties.
Pump those tatties.
Pump those tatties.
People are so dumb. Just pump like it's that easy. But yeah, Brett, that formula shortage, that could be problematic in a month. Watch in a month from now.
I got nipples. Can you milk me?
The world may start fucking freaking out in a month from now. We're not there yet, but in a month from now, people are gonna lose their shit.
People are calling it liquid gold.
Can I just give babies like my protein powder? Is it the count? Is that the same?
Oh, dude, it's scary.
It's a pretty good formula.
May 30th, there's a comedy special being released that is gonna get your emotions all up in arms, Covino.
Yeah, but was the thinking really if I died? Was that the thinking? Or really? Like, so how was there knowledge of that?
Norm Macdonald has a comedy special coming out May 30th. Mm-hmm. And when he was sick, his thinking was, so let me record this, and if I'm dead, you can see it.
I didn't know that he knew that he was that sick.
Oh yeah, no. So he was. I understand that he released this with the mindset of, when I'm dead, you guys could watch this. So I bet you he may even start it with like, so I guess I'm dead. Like, I bet you that's how he starts it.
That's wild. That's really, forward thinking and awesome of a legendary comic gone too soon. Yeah, I read this. I was like, wow, man, that's crazy.
Oh, so he shot it in his living room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Filmed in the entire hour in a single take. And then, I don't know who this is, but they say, his longtime producing partner says he looks great and the material's fantastic. So he had been working on a special, went to the hospital, got diagnosed, decided to make this special.
Jeez.
In 2020.
That's some balls, man.
I feel like it's the first of its kind as far as comedy stand-up special goes. But, if he really does say, if he starts it out, Spot, with, so, I guess I'm dead. Like, is that something Norm would say, right? Like,
yeah, just like that, I bet.
And if he delivers,
and he probably says that like a few times throughout. Yeah, because I'm dead. Throughout the special.
You guys probably miss me. I wonder what's going on. I don't know because I'm dead.
Yeah, it's funny and weird.
Did COVID ever get better? I guess I don't know because I'm dead. Like, man, it's going to be very emotional. I know there's a lot of big Norm fans. Our buddy Matt's a huge Norm Macdonald fan, and I always love Norm. So I'm excited to watch this. It's going to be probably equal parts funny and sad, but the idea of him recording a special knowing that he was not well, I think it's pretty fucking cool, man. I really do. I think it's his last little, because Norm was the most sarcastic, funny type of guy. So don't you feel like it's fitting that he's the guy that did this?
It is.
Yeah, I think it's genius too. And that's the type of thinker he was. So yeah, it's cool. Definitely watching it. It's going to be weird, but you got to, again, appreciate that forward thinking on his behalf.
Yeah. So
I mean, we
Norm
see
Macdonald.
a touch of this when it comes to music sometimes, or things that are put out, but not with the intent of they were going to die, or that they were not going to see the end product.
Did you sharpen a pencil?
I just sharpened the pencil.
You have to lick it. I never understood that. Why are people licking pencils?
Norm is very underrated. That's from Brett. Not sure why he didn't have more success. You know why? I think I know why. I think because most people are dumb and didn't get his over-the-top sarcasm. I really think that.
Well,
I think
he had that show. Remember, he had that show, that late show on Netflix?
He was so fucking funny.
It was hilarious, but again, was too off the wall where it would never connect to a mainstream audience. I mean, for that reason.
Sometimes he would go on a late night show and tell like an 8-minute joke with a terrible punchline, but that was the charm in him. Like I know that sounds weird to say, like, how could an 8-minute bad joke be funny? But he somehow made everything funny. So I'm excited to see a special. So May 30th, if you're interested, Norm Macdonald's comedy special. I think he wanted to name the special Nothing Special.
That's what it's called.
Nothing Special. So
because I'm
that's
dead.
happening.
In parentheses.
Because I'm dead.
In parentheses.
Because I'm dead.
Because I'm dead.
Spot, can I play a little round of?
Nope.
Are these TikTok videos worth sharing with my friends?
This is usually something we would do before the show. But
No. Remember, this is is it worth sharing?
All right, let's do it.
No, this is how high was Rich when he thought this shit was funny.
Did you send them to me?
I did.
Okay.
And they're all in a row.
Oh, okay.
And the first one is...
I'm just thinking, to preface this, if you have to ask, they're probably not that funny. But I'll be honest. I won't be like a dick just to be a dick.
So there's the TikTok ones, right?
The TikTok ones. The first one is a guy who impersonates every celebrity running. And I think he's fantastic.
Yeah,
he nails
great.
it.
No,
Yeah.
this guy's great. No,
He's the guy that does everything in fast motion. And yeah, but he nails this. What makes this good is it's so accurate. So yeah, he's on point. This is a great video. I already know.
He starts with Johnny Depp as
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Captain Jack Sparrow, and every run he does is the actual celebrity.
He runs in the style of celebrities, but he nails it, which makes it great.
Oops.
He's as Jack Sparrow.
Running in the style of Tom Cruise in every movie. Rocky Balboa. Sylvester
With the heavy
Stallone.
movements.
I don't know the Lisa Kudrow one, but I assume it's great. Forrest Gump nails it. Ace Ventura.
That's a good one.
Yeah, nails it at the end, too. Keanu. Jack Black. So funny. Jackie Chan, perfect. Perfect. Steve Carell, I don't really know. Kevin Hart's Run.
Kevin Hart runs.
Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, perfect. Steven Seagal nails it.
On your left.
That's great.
I thought it was great. I thought that guy was fantastic.
I mean, he has the body language down. It's a specific skill. It's like being able to do an impression. They pick up on these mannerisms and nuances that most people can't. And it's like the guy, remember batting stance guy who used to do really, and the guy who does like Steph Curry and LeBron, and he like reenacts the way their body moves in the game. It's great.
Yeah. I think that guy's talented. You're saying that's the same guy that does the whole like fixing the bed fast and doing everything, like that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he's funny. The second one, I think, is a pretty cool prank. It starts out with the guy talking about a dance move. Here, to play the second one, Spot. I see if you guys like this one. Is it worth sharing with your friends? TikTok number 2.
Duet this sound without listening to it. This is a song that gets people to dance in a million different ways. I've shown this to all my friends. None of them dance to it in the same way. Set your camera up like 10 feet away from you so you have plenty of room to like run around and jump and stuff, because you're gonna need it. Are you ready?
Sorry.
Okay, Google, Alexa, Siri, text mom, I'm horny, send.
No.
Duet this sound without listening to it. This is a song that gets people to dance in a million different ways. I've shown this to all my friends.
That's pretty funny.
None of them dance to it in the same way. Set your camera up like 10 feet away from you so you have plenty of room to like run around and jump and stuff, because you're gonna need it. Are you ready?
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Okay, Google, Alexa, Siri, text mom, I'm horny, send.
Oh, I get it. Oh, that's funny. I got it.
It's supposed to be a blind reaction, and he doesn't know what's going to happen, but he knows what's going to happen.
All right, I got it.
No. What are you not getting?
No. I wonder if we just like did that to people just now.
That's what I'm saying, Spot. It's funny because you're supposed to be away from your camera, and then he's telling your Alexa to send a message to your mom that you're horny.
I can't wait for the feedback to come through.
Oh, Jesus. All right. The third one you could skip for now.
I want it. No, I demand it.
Because it's not funny. It's more of a, like, you know how a lot of times we talk about, like, is it easy to make friends when you move to a new city?
I demand.
Or is it easy to make friends when you're at a new job? There's a guy that just does like a little step-by-step, like how to make a friend. And it's actually pretty interesting, like from a psychological standpoint, from like I guess like social experiment wise, I think this guy's onto something. If you want to play it, you can play it, Spot.
I'll play it. Oops. Sorry. Trying to make it big and it wouldn't go big.
It's all right.
Super simple, super easy conversational framework that you can use in any conversation to make friends very quickly. And if you like this video, I have a longer form version of my YouTube at Mindhacks. Go subscribe. It's going to be so valuable. All right, so the framework is compliment, from here, how/why question, relate, close. Very simple. And you can literally do this in any situation. So let's say you're at the dentist, right? And you're like, oh, that person looks like they could be a cool friend. So the first thing that you do, compliment. This is going to allow you to provide value to them right away, because everybody values a compliment. It's also going to warm them up to what you have to say next. So let's say you're in the dentist's office, they have a ring. You're like, hey bro, cool ring. And he's like, oh, thanks. And after compliment, from here. Hey bro, cool ring. Oh, thanks. Yeah, are you from here? Oh yeah, I'm like, oh, from this place or that place or whatever. And then you're going to ask a how-why question. Oh, cool, you're not from here? Well, how come you ended up here out of everywhere else you could have been? And they're going to tell you their story. Oh, I was over here, then I went over here, then I went over here. Something very important in conversation that a lot of people leave out is the reactions to what people tell you. So when they tell you, oh, I was here and then I did this, you want to react with your face. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, really cool. Oh, really? You need to give them feedback in the moment. Very underrated. Now, once you have that how, why, so they're like, oh, well, I went here and then I went there, then you're going to relate. Okay, cool. Yeah, I used to live here, then I lived here, and now I live here as well, and I'm just trying to make friends and I'm going about my day. And they're like, oh, cool. And then you close. So if you're with them there, you can be like, yeah, bro, what's your IG? Let me grab it. And he's like, okay, cool. Then you exchange Instagrams. Or if you got to go, you can be like, yeah, man, listen, I got to go. Great meeting you. What's your IG? Let's stay in touch. He's like, okay, cool. You get the Insta. Then you do that with 35 people. You have a ton of people that you can invite to things, invite them to things, and then some are going to be a good fit. Congratulations, you got friends. All right, here's a super simple, super easy.
Which is, I mean, a lot of people talk about as an adult, it's hard to make friends in new places. And I thought that was just like a little simple how-to, right?
I would be very skeptical of someone talking to me like that. Is that wrong? Is that what society has done to me?
That's probably what society has done to you, Spot.
Yeah. If someone was asking me all these questions, I'd be like, all right, what's he trying to do to me?
I think that's just like, again, it's like dating, right? Some people, that shit comes natural to them. Other people need to be coached. Everything he said right there sounds like common sense.
Yeah, it sounds like, Rich, this is
but
you. This
some
is
people
you
need
in a natural
more
circumstance.
I mean, isn't that any? Like, for me, that's very natural. Like, hey, man, sweet shirt.
It
Oh,
sounds
yeah, cool.
For me, it's very forced. Like if I were to do this, I would sound super awkward. Like, hey, I really like your man bag.
It's an alpaca.
Oh,
thanks. Yeah, it's nice.
Oh, great. So
you already won me over.
You're from.
Yeah.
You're from. Oh wait, facial
No,
expressions.
you won me over. So I'd be like, where are you from? You're a cool
Alpaca.
guy.
Where are you from? Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
You know, small
What brought
talk.
you here?
As much as I hate it, it's very easy for me. As much as I hate it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm saying it's not easy for most people, Covino.
But again,
probably
yeah, if you're the type of guy that needs help, that's great advice.
If people want to know the truth, one of the things we get hit up with the most that we don't really ever talk about is a lot of people talking about how, yeah, dudes, I'm in the new place and I'm having a hard time making friends. And we get that shit all the time. We get a lot of feedback of people saying like, yeah, man, like, you know, I'm a grown up and I don't really have a social circle. What should I do? Like, there's a lot of people hitting us up with their adult life is pretty lonely. So I just thought I saw that and I was like, you know, it doesn't come naturally to everybody.
Yeah. Like it doesn't really come naturally to me. I have to, and I need a person that is very
the minute you disarm them with a compliment,
conversational.
If they can't accept the compliment, that's on them. They're not someone you want to continue talking to anyway. And if they know that you're not hitting on them in some weird way, that opens the door right there to like, I mean, they're not going to deny you if you compliment, yo, man, those are sweet kicks. Where'd you get those? Yo, like your shoes. Hey, man, thanks. Bam. I mean, like, that's just such an easy way to open up a conversation. Who's going to be mad at that?
I do this a lot when I meet different pals, when I play softball. Like, I started playing on a new team Tuesday nights where I didn't know anyone, right? I knew one guy on the team. And I feel like the compliment combined with I'm being serious, the compliment combined with what Covino said, the make sure they don't think you're hitting on them. I throw in my wife very quickly, like, just honestly, just so the person doesn't think you're a creepo.
Right.
Like, I'll be like, yo, dude, I like that shirt, man. Pretty cool, whatever. And it's like, yeah, you know, it's about my wife. And if you bring up your wife or girlfriend, then they don't have some weird sense of like, yo, is he hitting on me? Compliment, mention the wife. Boom.
Sweet watch. I say that a lot. Sweet watch. They leave thinking, yeah, that guy's a cool guy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no crime in it.
Well, anyone that doesn't understand this conversation, maybe you're just shitty at business. Maybe you don't have, maybe this will help you. Because as Spot said, this comes naturally to some, not to others. But when it comes to making friends, doing business, some people make a fine living and they're not even good at selling an actual product. They're not even good at work. They're just good at being a friendly person. There's salespeople that make sick commissions because they're just schmoozers for a living.
Yeah, it's like you would make a great salesperson. It's just a natural, innate thing that not everyone has. Like I need someone that bounces off of me. Like it's very hard for me to carry a conversation, but if I have someone that's reciprocating, I can go on forever. And if they flow and I flow and we flow together, but even two flowy people will not always flow together because their thoughts aren't syncing. If they're just like, oh yeah, sweet bag. Oh yeah, I'm not a big fan of bags.
Yeah, no, listen,
it's like that. Okay, now what? You know, so it's not flowing. So you need a flow.
Next video.
Is there more?
That's it.
Sick biceps, bro.
Sick biceps.
Sick biceps.
My wife likes my biceps. Oh, all right. You're not gay. All right.
Thank you, Alejandro.
I really love squeezing penises in between them.
Thank you,
Wait,
Mr.
what?
Shriver. Thank you, NW. Thank you guys for all the feedback. So those are the 3 videos. I think the one worth sharing is the guy running.
Yeah,
Guy running.
No, yeah, true.
The guy running because he nails it. It's just a funny skill that he has where he can impersonate people's body movements. I like it. So before we get into rando news and other nonsense, Rich is in Texas. If you're just listening, Rich is in Texas. Spot and I are in Los Angeles. Hope you had a nice weekend. Most of our news alerts are kind of sports related, but there's some other stories we'll get to. Rich, something that, again, you never really think about until you're forced to think about it. Like the other day I posed a question like, hey, how do kids nowadays have sleepovers? Because this one's Peter Pansexual, this one's non-binary something, this one was a boy who was a girl. How do you navigate that world that we live in now? And
I don't think it's Peter Pansexual.
I know. You know what? And I say that jokingly all the time to Melody. So I say that respectfully. Because she tells me about this friend and that friend and, sleepover. I'm like, sleepovers? And I'm like, how does that work? Especially with preteens and horny teenage hormones. How does that work? Again, you cross those bridges when you get there, but things you don't really think about until you're forced to think about them. I understand completely that we're in LA, so things are way different. But they're not as different as you think because social media has made the world a much, much smaller place. Your kids are probably talking to other kids and watching other kids from other states who are into other things, influencing them whether you believe it or not. Unless you're monitoring your kid 24/7, they're exposed to other thoughts and other trends from other kids from other states all the time. It's just the world we live in.
More than ever, because we joke about how when we were kids, if someone moved one town away, it was like, hey, nice knowing you.
Yeah.
Now your kid could talk to kids around the world.
And, they have heavy, heavy influence. And you could deny that all you want. But it's the truth. How would you handle, you're in LA, how are you going to handle a little kid that comes over, but he's like vegan kid?
You accommodate him.
Yeah, you accommodate.
But you've never had to deal with that yet, right?
Yeah, but you've accommodated, you've never had a vegetarian friend?
I know there's an easy answer to it, but you've never dealt with this. I'll give you another example.
Well, I think, I think a heads up from the parent might be a good start. Like, hey, sorry to be a pain in the ass, but Gregor's is coming over your house. He's a vegan. So you might say, oh, no problem. Like, we're having a barbecue. I'll get some veggie patties or something.
He's not a vegan. You may, the parents are vegans and you kind of, he grew up product of your environment. He's now vegan because you guys are vegan. That's kind of how it works. Again, I'm stating the obvious, but call it karma, call it whatever. But recently I went on this rant about how In-N-Out Burger was overrated, right? In-N-Out Burger, overrated.
Yeah, you took on the hip-hop community with that.
I took on everybody. But again, you have to be hyped and rated to be considered overrated. So I get it. There's a huge hype there. It just didn't meet that hype for me. The very next day, Melody was like, Dad, can you pick me up after school at In-N-Out Burger? I'm like, oh. Karma. Because what happens is, again, being the father of a daughter, I don't just let my kid roam out of school and walk to wherever. I'm playing like I'm following them around until, she's ready to come home. But I want to give her that illusion of independence that she's just walking with her friends and hanging out for a while. But I'm there to pick her up thinking that, okay, all these kids are walking to In-N-Out Burger, and I'm there sitting in my car, and I see them walking, and I see them totally walk past In-N-Out Burger. So I text her. I'm like, thought you guys were going to In-N-Out Burger. What happened? She's like, yeah. Ranthan? I don't know. Ranthan. Oh, you mean the kid Ronthan? No, this is Ranthan. Ranthan is vegan, so we can't go. So I'm like, really? So it just never dawned on me. These are things that I never had to deal with growing up at all. Look, people have allergies. People eat different. People like different things. Yeah, we all dealt with that. I get it. But these kids, they were in a group, let's say, of 7. Their whole plan's diverted because one kid couldn't have In-N-Out Burger. And then I'm thinking about, having these kids at the house one day, which will probably never happen because that's just the life I live. And I live in a totally different town, and I'm a co-parent, and I live in an apartment and a condo. It's just a different vibe.
Well,
but
Lonnie
if
said a lot of times,
Ranthon is there, now I have to accommodate Ranthon and know these things ahead of time, which I never thought about.
I feel like Lonnie's right on the money with this one. I'm reading the feedback. He said a lot of times when a parent has a kid that's a vegan or a vegetarian, they know ahead of time, and they're pretty good about being like, I'll send my kid with food, because you don't want to be the pain in the ass parent. Listen, nothing wrong with being a vegan or a vegetarian, but I don't think someone would be like, here, watch my kid for the day. They're over your house. You should accommodate their dietary needs. Like, I think a lot of times it's like, my kid's a vegan. I sent them with a prepackaged thing.
Yeah, I guess it's no different than your kid coming with some sort of specific allergy. But again, just something I never thought of before. And then, so fast forward, Melody's like, yeah, we're going to In-N-Out Burger. And she actually did go to In-N-Out Burger after school. And, I have to sit there and wait, and they're having fun. They're socializing. And I'm like, oh, so I'm assuming Ranthon didn't make this trip. She's like, yeah, there was no vegans this time.
Oh.
So again, just something that kids deal with now that I sure the fuck never dealt with as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other things. Oh, yeah, Steve doesn't like fish. Yeah, there's other things. I get it. But it's just funny to hear your kid talk about those things at such an early age. Like a 12-year-old like vegan, never thought of that.
Sarah tells me that there's a good chance that if you have a daughter, there's a very good chance that she goes through some type of vegetarian stage at some point. Sarah was a vegetarian for like a year. She's like, every teenage girl goes through, or preteen goes through I'm a vegetarian now, Dad. She said she did it, and Sarah, she's a meat eater, but
yeah, she is.
There's I wouldn't be surprised. If I were you, I would not be thrown off if Melody comes home and it's like, Dad, I think I'm a vegan now. Like that's such a common thing for teenage and preteen girls, Sarah said.
She can get her own food then.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever thought about going vegetarian or vegan? Think for your health reasons?
I mean, no, probably not. You can cut back, I'm sure, on your.
I think
I wouldn't.
It would be
posed.
There's two different schools of veganism. There's the ethical versions, people who refuse to eat anything because you're killing animals, and they eat like garbage. And then there's the people who do it for health.
There's a reason that Canelo lost his last fight. He was on a plant diet.
Right. And there's people who do it for their health, and they're strictly like, they're eating super healthy and clean, but it's all plant-based.
By the way, that's the Vato joke for real, Rich. I don't know if you knew that. This was the first time that Canelo fully trained on a plant diet, right? And he got his ass whooped and looked like he didn't have the steam. So every meat-eating Vato out there is like, because he's a fucking puto eating plants. That's why. That's why.
Get him to eat a leaf or something. I've thought about it.
Because he's eating leaves now. That's why.
I'll be honest. I don't crave meat as much as just it's
as much as you did in the early
2000s. Yes. High five.
High five.
Good one. Good one. I don't crave meat. I just think it would be very difficult to figure out. I know a vegetarian or a vegan would say, well, I'll give you a meal plan. Come on, hit me up with it. Let's hear it.
In the early 2000s.
Rich craved meat.
In the early 2000s.
I'm not like the Donnie Pompadours in the world that are like, steak, burger, steak. Like, I don't give a shit. If you cook me something tasty and you're like, yeah, believe it or not, that was actually a vegan meal, I don't give a shit.
Like
if you told me eating, Covino, if you told me eating vegan,
I'm not mad about it.
I would eat a black bean burger. I would eat a lentil soup. I would eat shit like that.
Spot, if I had a personal chef that was like, hey, I'm gonna cook you delicious meals that are all plant based, I'd 100% be for it. I'm not I'm not this guy that's like, I need to eat chicken and beef and pork and everything. I just eat it because I feel like, isn't that just a simpler life? Like, truthfully, like, I don't, Covino, if I told you I'm going to give you something that tastes just like chicken or beef, but it's not, and it's really good, what? I mean, I'm not against vegan or vegetarian lifestyle. I just feel like how annoying it would be to try to find an option every time that you enjoyed.
I know there are a bevy of protein sources that are vegan, but I just don't know how you would hit like macros with eating vegan protein.
No, but this scenario made me think of all these different things. How you're really just a byproduct of your upbringing and your parents and their beliefs. And this kid, he had no choice. He's just a vegan because his parents are vegan. It's not like this kid at 12 is like, I'm taking a stance. That's not it, right? Same with religion and your thoughts and your beliefs on anything. You're just a product of your family. But it also, again, because I'm taking a shit and I'm sorry, grumpy, and I'm thinking about all this stuff. I'm like,
no, it was the dog. It was the dog because the dog got into Johnny Depp's weed. Amber Heard did not take a shit. I don't believe her though.
Is that the official word?
Well, she's taking a stand.
Yeah, she's saying she did not take a shit in the bed. The dog got a hold of Johnny Depp's weed and had pooped in the bed.
You could see how people's lifestyle and eating habits change depending on the person that they're with or choosing to be with. You could fall in love with a woman who's straight up vegan and you were this fucking hardcore meat guy, and because you care about that person. No, think about it. Like, I mean, if Melody's hanging, let's say Melody wants to continue hanging out with Ronan, I forget the name. She might have to adjust along the way. And you can see how people make those adjustments for people they care about. Like, all right, cool. I guess guess I'm vegan now. So
I would absolutely go vegan or vegetarian if I had a private chef that was like, hey, I'm preparing you tasty things that you wouldn't know the difference. But
let's say let's say Sarah continued on her path, right? And again, because I bring this up because we are a little judgy sometimes, like, oh, okay. But if that was her path and she was knowledgeable in it and she cooked and prepared food for you that way,
I would do it tomorrow.
You would probably be living that lifestyle.
So it's as simple as that. I'm telling you, I don't desire meat like I did in the early 2000s. I don't desire meat as much as I just desire a good meal. So truthfully, if you told me, yo, there was some salad or some sandwich or something, you're like, believe it or not, Rich, what you just ate wasn't even beef.
Right.
I'd be like, I don't give a shit.
Hey,
fantastic.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
All right, so just something I, again, was faced with, never thought about it. It's also funny to hear your kids talk about things like that.
The big takeaway for you probably is, if one of our friends said that in 1995, you'd be like, what are you, some type of pussy?
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, let's accommodate Connor.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's the difference. The difference if your teenage friend was like, guys, we can't go to In-N-Out Burger because I don't eat meat. You'd be like, what are you, some type of buffangaloots? Now you'd be like, we get it, Connor. Let's go where you want to go.
Well, now
the end. And it's just funny to hear. It just is. Even though...
And every place has like many places have options now because they accommodate everyone. So you can pick a place that accommodates everybody. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be like a Earth Cafe where it's just, it's all grains. You can go to a normal place and find options for everybody.
Spot, you know what? Every time I think about, hey, what are we going to eat for dinner tonight? If it's not Taco Bell, which is my favorite, honestly, when I go to Ralph's, it's like
Mexican pizza
what do you
comes
want?
back at the end of the month, Rich.
What's up?
Mexican pizza's back at the end.
May 19th.
You mentioned the end of the month.
3 days.
Yeah, no. Is it 3 days?
May 19th.
May 19th.
Yeah, May 19th.
It'll be sold out for weeks.
Taco Bell Mexican pizza returns. There goes Rich's diet.
Diet? What the hell does that mean? What's a diet? No, but I every time I go to Ralph's, the easy solution is, Sarah, what do you want me to get? Skirt steak, burgers, chicken, pork chops? Like, it's just an answer to what's for dinner. But if you told me, like, again, it's resources. If you said you had a vegetarian in your family or someone that was like, no, don't worry, I'll prepare everything beautifully, you'd probably be like, all right, let's give it a shot.
I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, exactly. So it's not like, it's not from a judgy place, but you're right. I mean, it's from a different place of, all the plans divert because of one kid in their group. Now, before we get into the Rando news, Spot, give me a little mail time. We got a little package, Rich, here in Los Angeles. I don't know what it is, so I'm kind of curious. Thanks for the mail.
To you, though. Why didn't you...
Our address is at covinoandrich.com. Our mailing address is there.
Come on.
We got voodoo dolls last week.
Oh, damn it, dolls.
No, that's a voodoo doll, bro. I'm sorry.
When it comes, I want to well.
Did you feel a little weird this weekend?
No. Okay, here's the letter. Steve.
Did you have a little?
This is to me.
Did you have a little like pain in your butthole?
No.
Oh.
I did. Why?
Oh.
Well, I thought it was the barbecue I had.
Oh.
No, Spot's using the voodoo dolls. Remember, he took a piece of our hair. Steve, I'm a huge fan of the show. He called me Steve. Huge fan of the show. I've never been a daily listener since. Oh, I have been a daily listener since Maxim. I'm downsizing my life, getting rid of everything that I don't need. My new focus is on the people I love, personal relationships, trips, and experiences.
That sounds lovely.
Good pizza and old fashions made with good rye whiskey.
Yeah, that's a man.
Anyway, I thought I couldn't be the perfect person. I'm sorry. I thought you couldn't be the more perfect person to find these a good home. I remember buying them at the local card store many years ago. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to meet you there one day in the future at a CNR event. Until then, thanks for what you do. You're the only friends I've never met. Jim in Asheville, North Carolina. Stafford.
I love that.
Jim Stafford, Asheville, North Carolina. So look forward to meeting you too, Jim, sometime soon. And let's see what these are. Here's the flip side.
Oh.
Wait, no. This is the back cover. Rich, do you have any guess what it is?
Well, that is Rock Reigns, or correct?
Well, this is Tim Rock Reigns on the Expos. This is the back cover of
a Beckett's book.
You, my friend, are right with a Kellogg's Harmon Killebrew. How do you do card? What are they called? The ones you move? But it's not just the Beckett, the hologram, but it's the Beckett with the very famous Bo Jackson in his shoulder pads with the bat. Beckett. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty
That's
dope.
that's something you throw in the box of cool memories, because we all had Beckett books to look up our baseball card prices.
And the date is June 1990.
That's cool.
Beckett Baseball Card Monthly with Bo Jackson. And all right, let's see.
Oh, there's more?
There's one of Kevin. Is that Kevin Bass?
I was going to say, is that Kevin Bass, or wait,
no,
hold on.
It's not.
Wait,
by the way,
on.
I totally forgot this guy. This is the back cover.
Give me the initials.
EA. You're not going to remember. He was a rated rookie, as you could see right there.
EA. Something. Anderson?
Eric Anthony. Rated
I
rookie
don't remember Eric
from
Anthony
the Houston Astros. But look who's on the cover of this May 1990 Beckett Baseball Card Monthly. My guy, Donnie Baseball. Oh, yeah, look at that. Thank you, man. That's very cool. That's very nice of you. Hey, Jim, Stafford, Asheville, North Carolina. Appreciate you. And may I just say, not only am I impressed with the condition of these amazing, thoughtful gifts you handed over, I appreciate that very much. I am so impressed by your comic style of handwriting. This guy looks like he could write for a comic strip. Look at this.
Is that Comic Sans a mess?
Look at his penmanship.
Beautiful.
You thought I'd be able to read it better.
Yeah,
but
honestly,
it was a little segmented.
When you were reading, I assumed it was just really bad
I think
handwriting.
at the same time, I think I was just like, look how I was impressed.
Now I know.
Oh my God.
I was just impressed by the penmanship.
You're just a dunce.
I was like, who wrote this?
It's beautiful.
It's like Ziggy handwriting. It's amazing. Anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate you. Which brings us to the Rando news of the day. I'll make it quick. There's a lot of nonsense. Rando news of the day brought to you by D's Nuts, Covino, and Rich, May 16th. Hope you had a nice weekend. Let's have a nice week. Rich is live in Texas. Tiki Tejas. News. Spot, I sent this to you in your Facebook Messenger. Or, yes, I'm pretty sure I did. There's a guy named Luis Fue. And when I do things like that, Melody says, stop that. That's racist. I'm like, that. How do you say his name? I'm just putting the Asian emphasis on it. Luis Fue. Because she'll say, yeah, Dad, my favorite anime character is Nagito Komaeda. I'm like, you mean Nagito Komaeda? She's like, Dad, that's racist. I'm like, well, that's how they say it.
Nagito.
How do you say it?
I don't know the answer.
Nagito Komaeda. When you put the emphasis on it,
It's
do you say, hi, Julio? Or do you say Julio?
Julio?
Yeah. So when she's saying the character's Nagito, I'm like, Nagito Komaeda. She's like, no, Dad. Nagito Komaida.
Nagito.
I'm like,
No,
no.
she's wrong.
Nagito.
You got to put a little emphasis on it. So there's a guy.
She's wrong.
His name is Louis Fue. Louis Fue. And they're calling this dude the Human Dragon. Master of Kung Fu / Human Dragon. And stupid websites like Lad Bible and things like that have picked up on this guy. Now, get this. Hold on. I'll tell you what he does. He throws sawdust in his mouth with no trick whatsoever. He says in his martial art training, it's taken him 6 years to master this. 6 years as a fire-breathing monk. So he puts a handful of sawdust in his mouth. Then he makes a hole. He pokes a hole so the air could go in and out. And he takes the fury from within and he spits fire. He says this from the phosphorus of the sawdust mixed with his skill of pumping air through his ear and blowing out the fury to spit fire as the Human Dragon. Kung Fu master.
What the heck?
We should do this.
Yeah. And like spectators
so he
are
packs
in
his
awe
mouth.
with sawdust.
He makes the hole.
And then he's like, he starts, he does his breathing sort of,
But he lights it, right?
Nothing. No. But he could light your cigarette. Look. Fire. See, I don't want
How
to
does he
sound
do
racist.
this?
Watch.
Oh, so he doesn't use any sort of
No,
incendiary.
it's just sawdust. He's saying the phosphorus on the sawdust mixed with his particular skill that he learned is what creates the effect.
It's probably just
Here it comes.
friction, like air blowing so quickly between a small hole creates friction.
But it's
of
not
the
something that you could just do without, again, mastering it. And then the flames start to come out, and people, just to prove that fire's coming out, like
Hey,
they're lighting their
who's this?
cigarettes, and you see them shooting
Whoa.
fire. And
How did
he's the Human Dragon.
How does one even learn to do this?
Again, but who knows? Bored, right? This
ancient Chinese secret.
This is before TikTok.
Wait a second.
Louis Fue. So, Kung Fu
Calgon.
Master. Thank you. All right, so that's story number one. I figured I'd share that in Rando News. Thought that was kind of cool. Look, see, now it's smoking up. Here it goes, Rich. Oh, he's thinking
What's
of
his name
some
again?
Louis Fue.
Louis Fue.
Not Louis, like Louis.
Louis
Yeah.
Fue.
And then look, then he fans air into his ears, which I think he does for effect. I can't imagine that actually
Louis
works.
Fuego.
What in his ear?
And then
Come on.
here comes the fire. Look, see?
Get the fuck. No.
Yeah, and then he starts shooting it like Godzilla.
Oh,
Not even kidding you.
shouldn't smoke.
Look at that.
Does he? How did?
I don't know. Maybe there's more of a trick to it, but that's the story.
I
The
think
Human
this-
Dragon.
Honestly, coming from you, I don't believe that. I think
All
it's
right,
fake.
well, I'm telling you what
Yeah,
Lad Bible
I think this
says.
is.
Oh, Lad Bible.
I gave you the source, dude. All right. Don't want to harp on this, but like we can't do a show and not acknowledge what happened in Buffalo this weekend. Here's what I want to tell people about, though. The video is on the internet. So be careful what links you click on, because I had the displeasure of actually seeing some of this footage by accident, because there's a piece of shit. Honestly, this guy's a total creep that sends us like the most demented videos all the time. I should have known better. But at first I thought I was watching like a first-person shooter game, to be honest. And no, this is the people getting shot at Tops in Buffalo, New York. But here's where I'm confused, because the story is 18-year-old Peyton Gendron, whatever this dipshit's name was, went buck wild shooting people after an encounter at Tops. The story that I read and that I heard was that he shot 10 black people. But the first person I see him shoot in the video is a white person. Am I right? Am I wrong? Or am I not? Or is what I'm seeing not real?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. But what I saw was disturbing, if that is the video. But apparently there is video. I think I saw it. I'm not sure. But terrible story in Buffalo nonetheless.
Terrible story.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah. And like I said, beware of videos you might not want to see, because that's just the world we live in.
Yeah, there is a guy that sends us only grotesque videos.
Yeah,
and
someone
I
should
don't know if
arrest
it's
that guy.
someone that we know personally, or if it's someone that's listened to our show a long time, or are we just part of their mass
That guy's
email send?
He's a piece of shit, that guy.
Have you talked to him or no?
No, but anyone who gets off on just I've told them, please stop sending this stuff, and they still continue to do it. Something wrong with that person.
Oh yeah, you did. Back in February, you wrote, "Just stop, thank you."
Yeah, I've said, hey, what gives? Enough of this stuff, because some of it is just like too like, man, it's like I didn't need to see that, and I'm not one of those weak stomach, lamos who can't stand to see some grotesque sort of shit, like whatever. But this guy's like, it's almost like, are you like trying to send us a message or something? Like, it's weird.
Yeah, that's odd. Well,
so have to acknowledge that happened. Terrible story.
I have a couple other.
Oh no, that's not the end of the news.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
The rest is like mostly sports related though. Real quick, Jermell Charlo over Brian Castana 2 was a great fight this weekend. He's undisputed now. I was never into the Charlo brothers, but Jermell Charlo is undisputed at 154, junior middleweight. He has all the belts now, and I heard it was a great fight. I didn't watch, but hope you enjoyed it. I know some of our buddies on the Carl pages watched and enjoyed the fight. What's up, Spotty?
Is it true you were always more of a Charo guy?
I was more of a Charo fan, not a Charlo fan.
Yeah. And he was less of a Charo Brothers fan, more of a Wayans Brothers guy.
Reds got a no-hitter this weekend, but the Pirates still won. Miserable. They lost 1-0. So Reds no-hitter and still lost the game. That is just everything about their season.
That's a complete reflection of their season.
Yeah,
like, how bad are the Reds? Well, the Reds are so bad, they throw a no-hitter and still lose the game. It's almost a reflection of how bad.
Yeah, shout out to Rashawn Powers, all the Rashans, the EJ Reeds of the world. Shout out to Rolando, Miguel, all the people that watched the fight this weekend.
When they walked someone in?
How did the Pirates get that one run? Was it an error on the Reds? That's how the Yankees actually did this when I was a kid.
It was a few walks and a fielder's choice.
Oh, okay. When Andy Hawkins threw a no-hitter for the Yankees, he walked a few people, and then Jim Leyritz made an error in the outfield, which allowed the White Sox to score. Yankees lost.
Do you understand a fielder's choice or no? Or should I explain that?
Explain it, Rich.
What's up?
Explain it.
Oh, so there was a guy on third base. There was a few walks, so there was a guy on third base, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guys on third base, let's say one out. There's a ground out to second base. He throws to first, out. But the guy from third scored. So there wasn't a hit, but a fielder's choice is when a guy scores, but not on a hit, on like an out.
Got it.
So there was, let's say there were bases loaded, ground ball to second. The guy threw to first, out, but a guy scored. So while there's no hits in the game, they scored a run, which has happened 6 times in Major League Baseball history where a no-hitter resulted in a loss.
It hasn't happened since 2008. If I'm not mistaken. So the Reds are that bad. On the positive, Nasty Nestor continues to be a beast for the Yankees. 1.35 ERA. I said this on Fox Sports Radio. I'll say it briefly again. I think we're witnessing the start of a Linsanity sort of thing because he's capturing the crowd. People love rooting for this guy. He's an unassuming Cuban dude with a mustache who's just pitching lights out amazing, and it's fun to watch. So Nasty Nestor continues his Beastadon-like season. The Celtics blew out the Bucks yesterday, 109-81. Dallas blew out Phoenix, 123-90. 2 Game 7s, 2 blowouts, sort of boring to watch. And tomorrow, the Eastern Conference Finals begins. Boston at Miami, and Wednesday, Dallas at Golden State for the West. And enjoy your NBA playoffs because now it's starting to get really good. But none of the teams that you thought were going to be there are there. So it's it's like somebody news opportunity.
Rangers and the Flames, Calgary and New York both won in overtime, Game 7s in the NHL yesterday. I think the NHL, when hockey goes Game 7 overtime, that's the most exciting shit because it's like whoever scores like wins the series. Like a Game 7 that goes to overtime is like the most tense situation in all sports. More than a fourth quarter comeback in football, more than a 9th inning. Like we're talking whoever scores wins and moves on, and it's like overtime, do or die. Like to me, watching those moments are like wild. So yeah, the Rangers and the Calgary Flames move on in the NHL.
7 Game 7s over the weekend. Some were lackluster, some were exciting. We hope you enjoyed them. And again, this week, just another fun week of sports with all the playoffs. And Amber Heard resumes her testifying in the defamation Johnny Depp trial. So I'm sure we'll hear more about her taking a shit and other things like that. And a few other shout outs to give. Shout out to Dave Abbey, Harry Taylor, Jason Kelly, Jordan, Javi Hare. What's up, Javi Hare? And Elk Grove. Appreciate you. Elk Grove. Thanks, guys, for all your feedback and for all the feedback throughout the weekend. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's have a kick-ass week. That's your rando news of the day. And I'm sorry I had to bring up that Buffalo story, but
you always say rando news of the day without asking me, do I have any stories to add? Because then I always have to go back and be like, I have one more. There's a few things. I saw a couple headlines that were fun stories. And you said there were 7 game 7. Speaking of 7, do you feel like you fall asleep in 7 seconds? There was a study that shows the average person falls asleep in 7 minutes. And
A-Rod
I feel
did at the Phoenix game last night.
Yeah, A-Rod. Yeah, I feel so...
Don't think about it, because then you'll never fall asleep ever again.
I feel so thrown off by that stat, because I'm like, 7 minutes. I imagine being able to fall asleep in 7 minutes. Oh,
no, it depends, but no.
But I posted that, and would you believe that it's so polarizing? People are like, yo, I can't fall asleep at all, and then other people are like, I fall asleep in 1 minute. I wish I was that person that's like head on pillow, sleep.
You want to test
no
it out?
way.
Time me.
Yeah, no. It just depends. I mean, have I been boozing? You know, did you tug one out? Are you on an edible? Are you on a full tummy? Is the temperature just right? Because if it's a little sticky, it's hard for me to fall asleep.
Why is it sticky?
It's the worst.
No, like if it's hot and you're like,
like humid.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A little sticky icky.
Got some bat wing duck going on. Like it's hard to fall asleep.
How is it? What?
It's hot.
Isn't that more humidity than heat?
Just humid.
No, if it's hot and you're like sweaty, like you can't fall asleep to that. You're flipping the pillow over and over and over, and you can't get a cool side of the pillow. You ain't falling asleep in that.
We live in the desert. You open your window at night. Oh, it's so nice and cool.
Sometimes it's hot. Sometimes I'm hot, and you're not.
Sometimes
So
it's
top
hot.
that. All right. So anyway, that was the last story. That was the Rando News. Brought to you by D's Nuts. Hope you have a nice night's sleep tonight.
See my news alerts. Who was it? Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian are officially married. Did you see that over the weekend? I think they were already married, but they had their wedding or I don't know. Something went on this weekend.
Sort of like you, Spot, where you were married but then got married again.
Oh, I thought they were married already.
Yeah. But no, I think, or maybe that was a joke, or maybe it wasn't real, but like it was announced that it was like this weekend. They were seen getting married. Maybe it was a photo shoot.
I haven't
Talk
kept
about
up.
horny people. Did you see Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly?
My God.
She had her personal stylist make holes in some of her wardrobe so that Machine Gun Kelly could have easy access to fuck her. Like, isn't there a point where you're too horny? Like, slow down.
Isn't that just like lift? Isn't that, you just lift things up? Isn't that how that works?
Saying.
Wow. Is that one of your Pop 2K updates today?
Yeah, that's
Holy moly.
That's my pop. Yeah.
You're really pushing the envelope on that channel.
And I have a bunch of stories. I'll save them for tomorrow. I'll give you one now.
Got a horny update in the world of Machine Gun Kelly.
Well, here's a penis update.
I'm making cold in my clothes.
Here's a peni update. There was a girl that investigated why do Greek statues have such small penises in museums? Do you know the answer?
I saw this and I didn't investigate myself, but I saw the
Really Rich did.
article, or I saw it somewhere.
I mean, how could you click on every dumb article, but you didn't click on the reason?
Nope. But I remember seeing it thinking, nope. No.
If you always wondered why Greek statues always have small or little flaccid weenies.
Because they're growers, not showers.
No, there's a reason. Because, Spot, you know how over time fair-skinned versus tan has changed? Like, if you used to be fair-skinned, it meant that you were like royal and not working outside. And then it became like you want a tan.
You had access to food, so you were eating all the time.
Yeah, fat meant, when you were chunky, it was like, oh, wow, they must be opulent and rich because they have...
I meant like thick. Like thick.
Yeah.
Voluptuous
Apparently,
women.
In ancient Greece...
Why, it's fat? You can't say fat anymore?
Shouldn't say fat.
What? You can't say fat?
Yeah, it's offensive.
Well, guess what? Over the pandemic, I got fat. I could say it if I want to say it. I got fat.
You got fat.
But you can't refer to somebody, he's a little fat. It's like that's the no-no nowadays, huh? It depends how you say it, no? I mean, it's
like I got a fat D.
Huh.
Yeah.
You can't say, yo, that girl's got a fatty.
That's okay.
No.
That's okay.
That's okay.
I don't even know if that's okay. Who knows? Well, in ancient Greece, a small penis was sought after for an alpha male. Greeks associated small, non-erect penises with moderation in power and ideal masculinity. A man with an oversized erect penis was considered wild, drunk, not ideal, and perverse. So, like, almost like the idea of like a big ween was like, that guy's like, he's like a poor, almost like a poor perverted drunkard where
Eunuchs.
Like regal people had like, oh, I have a small weenie, I'm regal. Like that was sort of like their, vibe. Like the kings and powerful people wanted small weenies.
No wonder Cleopatra wanted Mark Antony.
So
many small weenie jokes I can make, but I don't want to.
So Greek statues. I'm surprised you did not click on that article.
Weird, Rich. I thought you were Russian.
Good enough.
There's four stories.
I saw that go viral over the weekend, though. I didn't read it.
4 stories. We'll do one today. I'll save the other 3 for tomorrow. I'll give you the topics. You tell me which one you want to do today, quickly before you get out of here.
It's the Wheel of Cheese spot.
Oh, the Wheel of Cheese.
Yeah.
No, he already chose the story he's doing today.
No, he said we choose.
Oh,
no, I said you choose. I have 4. I have 4 stories. 3 we'll push to tomorrow, and we'll do 1 today. I said I had a lot of shit today. And by the way, happy birthday to not only Emmy
and Jaime.
It's your mom's, your late great mother's favorite spot. David Boreanaz turns 53 today. Speaking of Megan Fox, she's 36 today, and Danny Trejo, Vatos Locos, is 78.
Timestamp. We had Megan Fox on our show, not for the first time, but I remember she celebrated her 21st birthday in our studio.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that. So that was 15 years ago today.
15 years ago today, Megan Fox. Wow. How about that?
Remember that?
Could have been you.
Damn. By the way, a couple other quick things that
I remember I caught her meat gazing though, Spot.
Could have been you.
Yeah.
Oh, something that we missed along the way with news alerts. The #1 trending show right now, I thought it was the old movie with McConaughey. I'm not even joking. I'm like, why is The Lincoln Lawyer trending #1? But there's a new series on Netflix that everyone's raving about. Lincoln Lawyer is now a series.
They also turned The Time Traveler's Wife into a series.
So Lincoln Lawyer, apparently people are loving it. That's the new rage. Lincoln Lawyer. I'm sure we'll be talking about it in a week saying, yo, Lincoln Lawyer. So Lincoln Lawyer. I watched Senior Year with Rebel Wilson and Justin Hartley over the weekend.
That was
cute. It was
super cute.
It was cute. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but it was So here's the 4 stories to choose from. Yoga Devil.
Oh. Is it about
weddings.
Is that a wedding?
Shopping. By the way, whose wedding were you at?
I was one of Kristen's coworkers.
Oh, okay.
One of her, yeah. I was for once.
Well, you missed a free meal at Jaime's birthday party.
It's so odd. For once, I was the +1. I feel like I'm always the primary and Kristen's always the +1. So I was the +1 this time.
Were you yappy or were you just chilling?
I was somewhere. I was like chill, but like I danced the night away. Dance.
Dance the night away.
It was very odd because they like moved everything along up front. It was like they sat you down, they did the speeches, they brought out the salad, they took the salad away, they brought the dinner right away. The second they brought, like as we were finishing their last bite of our meal, they were cutting the cake. The second the dinner plates went away, the cake was on the table. And then like there was 3 hours of just straight dancing.
Oh, so they were like, let's get all the shit out of the way. Now it's a party.
Yeah. It's fun though. It's a beautiful place in LA.
All right, so Yoga Devils.
I did.
Yoga Devils, wedding etiquette, a friend in need about money and shopping, or a great article about happiness.
I'll let Spot choose.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's gonna lead to the longest conversation?
It doesn't matter. They're all.
I want to know.
good.
I want to know about the yoga devil.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that sounds most intriguing.
Right?
Yeah. Yoga devil.
Because I want to know, is it me? Am I the yoga devil?
The yoga devil. You know, I had this funny thought. I don't think I ever shared it on the air, but I remember being at a Starbucks and it's like overheard LA. I remember hearing these two women just yapping about this instructor that they had. And they're like, oh yeah, he's great, right? Oh yeah, and he pushes. Oh, he's really handsome and he's really pushing it out. Like he's really good. What days does he teach? He's usually Sundays and Wednesdays, but yeah, I think. And then it dawned on me that these yoga chirpers, they probably do the same thing about Spotty. Like there's a whole little scene of people that talk about Spot
the girl
after the class.
He's okay.
Yeah. Like, the
someone else
beardy
like, really?
guy.
I love him.
Yeah, he's very handsy, but I think he's married though. He's nice, but he's a very good instructor. He has a great playlist. Like, there's always probably a conversation about you, Spot, that I would love to hear what they say about you.
You think we have clandestine conversations about you?
A girl came in the other day and she was with her friend. She's like, oh, I told her. She's like, she has to take your class. Your class is great. You're my favorite teacher.
Yeah, like after the class, here's the Spot. If you don't know, Spot is a yoga instructor on the side, right? It was part of his rebirth of Spot.
Yeah, my health journey.
Yeah, his health journey.
I do it for fun. I don't do it for the money.
Took it serious, and he's core power yoga Spotty. After the class, they must all look at each other and be like, he really pushed us to new heights today. Like there's a convection about Spot
he helped us reach that we transcendent.
Because I overheard other people talking about someone else. I'm like, that's someone else's Spot in in another scene right now.
I like to keep it lighthearted and fun. I feel like people take
I love
things
how
too
he
seriously.
keeps it lighthearted and fun.
This music,
he's
my
a little
music's
touchy.
good.
I think I see him staring at butts all the time, but he is a nice guy. He has kind eyes.
I try not to be touchy.
Yeah. So anyway, go ahead, Rich. Yoga devil.
Spot, I just sent you a picture, and this just goes along with the fact that there are wackadoos out there.
Wackadoodles.
There's wackadoodles at every corner. There is
It's more cute when you say doodles at the end.
Yeah, there's a bunch of wackadoodles. There's a new yoga Barbie. Spot, I just sent you the picture on our Covino Rich text message. Yoga Barbie.
Yoga.
Maybe I'll get you one for your birthday.
Can you?
By the way, you know why Spot was doing the Running Man during the wedding?
I did do the Running Man.
He was just trying to get his steps up for his little magic shoe app.
No, you have to
He's
walk.
making money the whole time.
You have to be public. Oh, by the way, we're going to start talking about that because I got Covino in on it.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I invested in magic shoes over the weekend.
Well, it's a good time because crypto collapsed.
That's why.
So Spot, me, everyone lost like half their shit in crypto. So now's the time.
That's why I did it.
Buy your magic shoes.
So let's see this Barbie.
Here's Yoga Barbie.
Yoga
By the
Barbie.
way, how much money did you invest in magic shoes, Covino?
I'll tell you off the air.
Tell me now.
It's a clandestine conversation, which is because you're rooting tooting Texas buddies brag about money. You want me to do that?
No, I mean, are you talking that you put like, $1,000 into you? Or did you drop like $10,000 on a pair of fucking magic shoes?
I'll tell you off the air.
You spent 10 grand on magic shoes?
Magic shoes.
He's a person. He doesn't like talking about his finances. He'll tell you.
You spent, Covino bought $25,000 magic shoes?
Yep. Yeezys.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
There are shoes
Yeezys
that look like Yeezys.
All right. So we see Yoga Barbie.
All right. Yoga Barbie. Here she is.
So just when you think like, what could be wrong with Yoga Barbie?
Breathe with me, Barbie.
I saw this post of a woman on Facebook, and this is what she writes. Yoga Barbie is at Target on the shelf. Satan always comes as appearing innocent. He will never come with horns and a pitchfork. This Barbie has 5 guided meditations. Remember, yoga is Hinduism. You cannot separate the possess from the religion. I'm sorry, the poses from the religion. Each pose is designed to invoke a Hindu deity in the spiritual realm. Deity. I've seen children get possessed by demons. This Barbie is sent here by the devil.
Deity.
Deity.
Okay, so what are the 5?
Deity.
This Barbie is sent here by the devil. It teaches you deep breathing.
Oh.
Her pet's involved. Satan is after your children. He wants to use them and indoctrinate them for his glory. Then, when he is done, he will destroy them. As your kid grows, they will get rebellious, depressed, and many will be suicidal. Hold on. You won't understand what's happening as a parent. God forbids all these practices. You must remove all these toys. The yoga Barbie doll is step 1 of Satan's takeover.
Who said this again?
Just a woman on Facebook.
Man, fucking wackadoo.
And I'm just saying, like,
so there is
when you
some,
think
there's
a wackadoo around every corner. There's a whack job around every corner, and you wonder, like, who are these people? And like, is there no one in their life that like shakes them and they're like, "Yo, you fucking gone off the deep end, Stephanie"?
Bro,
like,
there's just people who are, strong in their beliefs, obviously.
Right.
But then there's just like wackadoodles who really suffer from mental issues, man, and that's what we're exposed to a lot of.
I mean, there is.
Yeah, I'm not. I get what she's saying, but like to take it to that level spot,
to the background of what she's saying, like it is based in religion. You are doing poses to honor and tribute deities. You're not summoning anything, but the goal is enlightenment and transcendence. That's the whole point of yoga.
So what you're saying is yoga Barbie is sent here by Satan?
Yes. Most people are doing it for exercise.
How about this thing? This weird voodoo doll I got. Is this any?
I have a question. Do you feel?
What are you doing? Oh! You're gonna crumple me up like David Allen Greer in Tales from the Hood. Lonnie knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
no one else does.
I do.
Like David Allen Greer in Tales from the Hood. Look up the GIF.
What do you do though? Here's the question. Because I've not only have I seen this with this, I don't know this woman who was a friend of a friend, but I got to ask you, what do you do when a family member or friend starts to go wackadoo off the deep end with like their weird theories or conspiracies or beliefs? Like, do you have to check them? Like,
I think a lot of us saw that with
if you know this
the political
woman,
divide and vaccines and everything else.
No, but Covino, if you see, like, yeah, you're right. It's a lot of times it goes back to vaccines over the last couple of years.
But you don't think people fell off the deep end with their whole, even with, with Trump stuff? Like you saw, man, like people got real crazy about that stuff.
I have, well, first of all, Yoga Barbie. If you know Yoga Barbie girl, and you know the woman that says Yoga Barbie was sent here by Satan, how do you handle that? The same way, like, Covino, we have a mutual radio friend that said he took $5,000 from his friend. And I was like, do you feel good about it? And I'll explain how. This guy had a friend who said, Donald Trump's still secretly the president. You'll see the takeover is going to happen. And our friend was like, yo, Joe Biden won the election, whether or not you believe it or not. Like, Donald Trump's not secretly the president. The guy's like, you'll see on this date. And the guy's like, all right, I'll bet you $1,000. The guy's like, make it $2,000. And the guy paid him $2,000. And he's like, all right, because I got the date wrong. This summer is when Donald Trump's taking over, the secret plan. Double or nothing. And the guy's like, yo, this lunatic has given me $5,000 because he keeps thinking.
That math was 4. So they must have bet $2,500.
Whatever. So point is, like, what happens if your like cousin or uncle or friend is like, you guys don't see what's happening? You ever have someone tell you you don't see what's happening?
I've dealt or know people that have dealt with these type of scenarios. And it's it gets to the point where it's like, hey, I respect that you believe this, but stop sending me this propaganda. Yeah, you just politely say, like, cool, but I don't need to see it anymore. I'm over it. Like I'm done.
There's a girl we worked with back in the day, or knew in our Z100 days, that was sending me conspiracy shit like a year ago, telling me how 5G is like how. Remember when people had that conspiracy about like 5G networks are like gonna get you?
Mm-hmm.
When you know someone in your life. So your answer, Covino, is do you try to put them back on the right path, or do you let them slip down this fucking rabbit hole of crazy?
Not in my house, because I have a shitty signal.
Yeah, you can say, hey, man, I don't believe this stuff. Or, yeah, I heard about that. But, yeah, you could say, again, it depends how adamant they are of trying to convince you all the time. Yeah, and if it's, like, relentless, you have every right to be like, yeah, you could stop sending me that stuff now because I'm over it.
But do you ever, is it wrong to ever tell them, like, yo, you're a fucking wacko?
Yeah, because...
Yeah, I think so, especially if it's a family member.
You don't want to. It's triggering to them, and you don't want to like get them at. You don't want to have people after you.
I think a family member you should though. Be like, hey man, you're out of your mind.
Let them live in their crazy worlds. Let them think they're crazy things. I mean, you could argue that's what leads to bad things, like certain things that happened this weekend. But it's out of your control. It's like there's something more to it than this woman hating Yoga Barbie. There's something more to it that needs to be addressed, and you're not the person to address it.
Spot, I get there's people that, for instance, like the vaccine, come and gone. Some people got it, some people didn't. But some people didn't get it because like, yeah, it's not what I want to do. I'm not going to judge people. But if you had let's say your brother, J-Rock, right? Or your brother, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's not gone. It didn't come and go. It's still around. The next booster's coming out.
Are you going to get it?
I'm just saying, it hasn't come and gone.
That last booster.
No, but are you going to get
my mom's
boosters?
Been sick ever since she got it, bro.
I get a flu shot every year.
But I'm saying you're going to get the boosters?
Probably.
Oh. So my point is, if you have someone that told you, one of your family members that was like, yeah, they're putting a tracking device in you. Well, how do you handle that person?
I say, my life isn't that interesting to be tracked, so if they do it, who gives a shit?
Yo, bro, you don't get it. They're putting a tracking device in you.
Let them track
What
me.
do you say?
What are they going to do?
It depends.
Watch me watching NCIS every day?
If it's a friend, like I don't need friends like that. So like you could just distance yourself from that person, right? Like you believe that shit? All right. If it's a family member, that's when you're like, are you serious? That's when you really could be like, who the fuck, where are you getting this from? Like, what are you talking about?
Or you
like, you need help or something?
And every time you see them, you're like, let's say their name's like Bob Johnson. Be like, isn't it crazy how Bob Johnson wants to like take down all the world leaders? And you like fuck with them because they think they're being tracked and let them live.
What if you knew a family member that really believed that there was like a pizzeria in DC where like all these famous people were doing like a pedophile ring? Like, do you tell your family member like, yeah, it's all, I know what you believe, but like, yo, you're a fucking lunatic, or do you just let them be a lunatic? That's the question, I guess, to end it. Do you let people be lunatics, or is it your job to be like, yo, I'm not going to let my friend or family member be a maniac?
No, you tell them, hey, you can believe what you want, but I don't believe this stuff, so stop sending it to me, because that's usually what happens. It's not, and it's usually a conversation that they always bring up, but it's going to be something that they relentlessly send you from unsourced articles.
Yeah, like
you know what I mean? Like bullshit, like articles with no validity behind it whatsoever. And it's like, yeah, did you see who wrote this? Nobody from Nowhereville. So this is not real. So why do you keep sending me stuff like this? You just tell them that until they get the hint that you don't want to be bothered with it. And if they choose to believe that and dive into that world afterward, that's on them.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You're not gonna win the argument and change someone's mind. And win
Brett is saying, let them be lunatics, not worth the hassle.
You know, you almost have to not kill it with kindness, but you just have to be like,
yeah, let's talk about something else.
You have to be like, you know what? Thanks for your concern. I'm going to do what I do. You do what you do. And you know what? I hope for your sake, I hope you're right. For my sake, I hope I'm right. But, you know, let's talk about the Mets.
What if you start to see someone doing something? All right, let me give you one more and then we'll call it a day. What if you see someone doing something dangerous, not to others, but like, all right, I'll give you one. We had a listener back in the day. He may still listen. Let's call him Chaz.
Chances are he doesn't.
Palmentary?
I think this guy might. I don't know.
Never know.
Let's say we had a listener named Chaz back in the day. His whole family sold their belongings in 2012 because they thought it was the end of the world. Do you remember this?
Barely. Sounds familiar.
Actually, not at all.
Was this Coney 2012? Because that shit was Coney.
I don't remember this, but I believe you.
I'll text you his name right now.
Okay. I vaguely remember, but
I believe you. I totally believe you. I just don't remember.
All right. Rocket Dog in Minnesota?
Wow,
I don't remember that. I don't even remember that guy's name.
Really? I didn't know that. Yeah, you do.
I know. I'm trying to throw people off the trail.
That guy came to our studio quite a bit. And I remember him being like, yeah, my wife and her family, they sold all their belongings. They got rid. 2012 was the end of the world. And And I was like, you let them do that? He's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, I don't know. Like, knock some sense into him. This guy's family sold everything. And then when 2012 came and went and nothing happened, then they're like, oh man, we sold everything.
Yeah, you notice how the aliens started coming?
You notice that?
Yo, Rich started losing signal the second you started questioning the end of the world.
Kyle said just agree with them and then make fun of them behind their back. That's a good idea. Let's just do that.
Yeah. I mean,
man, that's crazy, man. Then when they leave, be like, yo,
unless
Frank's lost his mind. What
if it's all
doofus.
they talk about and like it disrupts everything and that like they don't want to have a normal conversation, then you just have to distance yourself. But like if they just constantly like, or if they're just bringing it up in casual conversation,
yo, dude, it's just simple.
Steer it away from that.
Like if someone wants to talk to me about hockey all day, it's like, yo, it's just not my thing, dude. I listen to them politely, and I'm like, yeah. When I'm not giving them the feedback they want, like, yeah, it's just not my thing, man. I'm glad you're into it. It's the same thing. It's like they're talking about shit they're really passionate about. They're really sold on this stuff. You're there to listen, and you're like, yeah, that's not my thing.
You could be a dick. Stoney hit us up saying,
But
just
why?
take him
You're
on
not
to
going
make
to
him get
change their
even
mind.
crazier.
You're not going to change. Were you, Rich Davis, going to have more influence on this listener than his wife and his in-laws? The answer is no. You know, so you hear him out like, yeah, you believe that, huh? You can say something snarky if you want, like, yeah, I don't know about that. You know, I plan on living after 2012. I'm keeping my stuff. But I don't try to change anyone's view on it. I politely say, yeah, I'm good. You know, hey, yeah, I'm done. What else do you want to talk about?
You know what you have to say to these people? Like, okay, let's say I do believe you. What am I going to do about it? Like, why not just enjoy life? There's nothing I can do to change a chip being implanted in my brain. There's nothing I can do about the end of the world. If the world wants to end, I'm going to die. And there's nothing I can do about,
I choose to enjoy these moments.
It's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, on that note.
I mean, but if they're pushing their ideals and beliefs, you could also be like, yeah, man, no, I actually believe in God and faith. I have faith in other things, and I'm not, sell them on your bullshit. Like, yeah, I don't believe you. I got my own beliefs. I believe in this and that and this. And, that pretty much, if they're going to be so forthcoming on their strong beliefs, whether it be religious based or, on politics or anything else, like, yeah, no, well, I actually believe the opposite, and here's what I believe. And I don't really feel like debating it. So let's talk about something else.
So the vaccine turns me into a zombie. When I become a zombie, you can be the one to kill me, stab me in the brain.
Yeah, when I turn into a zombie, you can say 99 poof poof.
You can be the one. You know what? You can keep me as your pet and make me do funny things as a zombie.
Well, ask him for the proof, man. I, honest to God, 9 times out of 10. The proof is from some wackadoodle bullshit of no credibility at all.
Yeah.
We're just going dark.
No, dude. Rich, maybe.
They're coming for you.
It's another eclipse.
Yeah, what happened?
Why did it get so dark? If you're not watching, it just got real dark in Rich's room.
Yeah, it just got light again.
Yeah, spirits.
Yo, bro.
Spirits are there.
They're there. The aliens.
What's going on?
I don't know.
Aliens.
Notice how the tone changed when she started bringing up all this devil yoga devil stuff.
We actually have a friend that has their house stocked like almost like a shelter where like, the world's going to end. And I'm like, that's not harming anyone, but I almost want to be like, really? Like, you really think that's going to happen, huh?
That's a tuna. That's a can of tuna.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being prepared.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong.
I don't have any problem with
prepared. That. I mean, look at the if someone had stockpiles of baby formula, they'd be set right now.
If you're making ducats. On that note, have a great Monday. Don't watch. What is it?
The show.
Senior year. I wouldn't recommend unless.
I was gonna watch it anyway.
Well, I thought you might. It's a comedy that's trending on Netflix, and it's an hour and a half. So I thought you might watch it.
One question that will prevent me from having to watch any part of this movie. So do me a favor, and I don't think it gives away the plot line. Did they address why she has an Australian accent?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I need to know. Done.
I mean, it's not a plotline spot. The beginning scene is she's like, I moved here from Australia when I was a teenager. Like,
oh, then why her? But I feel like her parents don't have accents though.
That is weird. That is weird because her dad is played by what's his face?
Chris Parnell.
Chris Parnell, and Chris Parnell doesn't have an Australian accent.
I thought it would have been funny if they were like, oh yeah, from the trauma, you develop. You know how sometimes people will develop accents after a brain trauma.
Yeah,
I thought that would have been funny if they did that. So you know what? Ruin the movie for me. I'm done. Out.
And Jim Ramsey reminds us that there's a brand new Better Call Saul tonight. If you're all caught up, I'm still there. I'm getting there. I'm on season 6 now. So excited about that. Enjoy your sports. Remember, tomorrow NBA playoffs continue, but we'll be live tomorrow as well. Here
You
on
know
the
what's been
Covino
out
Rich
that we
Show.
really haven't talked about, but I feel like we did in the past? The show Barry with Bill Hader and Henry Winkler. Henry Winkler. So far, I think there's 3 episodes, maybe 4 episodes out. Henry Winkler has been a big part. It's a dark season. It's very dark, and he has been fantastic this season. Henry Winkler, our friend. So I just want to, if like it's very dark, like you almost think that Bill Hader had a really rough couple of years because it's a dark season.
Well, enjoy your Barry. Enjoy your Lincoln Lawyer. Enjoy your Better Call Saul, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then. Arrivederci, Cowboys.
See you in the rootin' tootin' promised land.
Bye.